signal is not a beeper.
Well, I wish I could say that my interest in you was purely professional.
You're trying to get under my cape, Doctor?
A girl can't live by psychoses alone.
It's the car, right? Chicks love the car.
You're listening to LeaguePodcast, The League versus Batman Forever. I'm Matt Garrison.
And I'm your host, John Hunt. And to my left is the amazing and talented
Harvey Clay Inferno here.
Ah, right. Clayface.
Oh, Clayface. They haven't done that proper yet, except maybe in a Harley Quinn animated show. That's pretty funny there.
Harley Quinn.
But yeah, but I have to address something at the top here. I do not like that in any behind the scenes thing, any Joel Schumacher interview, any Tommyleejones interview, I resent that they don't call him Harvey Dent or Two-Face. They call him Harvey Two-Face. And it made me so crazy. But he is Harvey Dent when he's a lawyer. But when he becomes the villain, Two-Face, they use his full proper name on his license, Harvey Two-Face.
Really?
What the fuck is that?
Okay.
The fuck is that?
Wait a
Thank
minute.
you.
So you're talking about...
He rebranded himself.
You're talking about in interviews and stuff? Because they refer to him as Two-Face in the movie.
But yeah, no, I was watching the commentary track this morning, and Schumacher keeps referring to him as Harvey Two-Face, and I did notice that Tommy Lee Jones also did. Whenever
he recorded that, they didn't have the word then, but cringe. I cringe every time I hear that. Harvey Two-Face. Have that word. I don't know if they had that
in 1995.
Yeah, we didn't cringe at all in the 90s.
We just let it wash over us. We turned on the U2 and Seal soundtrack and tried to get laid.
Yeah.
Yep. Just like Joel Schumacher.
Oh, maybe Tommy Lee Jones did that out of spite because he apparently hated doing this movie. He hated Jim Carrey.
He hated
didn't do
Jim
another
Carrey.
superhero movie until Captain America.
Well, you know what? I hated him in this movie.
Yeah,
it's quite terrible. So it goes.
What goes around comes around, old Tommy boy.
It's a two-way street here.
And wouldn't you consider Men in Black like? I guess it's later.
It was a comic movie. No, you're right. Yeah.
All right, never mind. That threw that as I said.
Well, that was just something I read. I mean, a superhero
But the ultimate. Well, I guess we're talking about Harvey Two-Face now because I brought it up. But the Norm Macdonald Jim Carrey interview is fucking so funny. He's like, he basically like came up to him and was just like, "Fucking leave me alone. I fucking do not like you."
Yeah, apparently he hugged him. Right?
Your whole thing. I don't like any of this. He did like something with his hand. He's like, I don't like any of this. Don't like any of it.
Well, I guess there was some
he said something like, I cannot sanction your the buffoonery or something like that.
My God.
I think you're right. I think that's what he said.
That's pretty brilliant.
I mean, I guess I would love to. If I ever met Jim Carrey, I might say the same thing.
To be fair, Jim Carrey was pretty annoying back then.
Yeah, he was. Well, okay. So a couple things. First of all,
they're both kind of annoying in this.
Right, exactly. Neither one of them really captures the character, but so Billy D. Williams was technically contracted to do another movie, and they bought out his contract because they thought you weren't really what we're looking for, and you're not really a box office, hit.
And also, we're going to have to do prosthetic makeup on your face. Where Tommy Lee Jones, all we have to do is just bring him in because he already looks like that.
He's right.
He's very craggy.
Handsome man. No, yeah, they had to. But yeah, all the pink makeup and whatever they put on him because they thought blood would which is leads us. It's a good segue here. Good segue because Batman Returns was, McDonald's got behind it. Diet Coke,
listen to our last episode about Batman Returns.
I didn't want to say anything. It may happen, but
is that the one with the penguin? The guy from Always Sunny is the penguin.
Yes,
right?
The guy from Always Sunny. So, anyways, after that, the studio got all mad, a little mad. They wanted to make something a little more kid friendly.
Well, they got mad because McDonald's was
McDonald's was mad. I guess.
Yeah, McDonald's
And
was
the
really
toys.
the mad.
They wanted to make
Yeah,
money.
They wanted to make toy money. Yeah. Because actually, Batman Returns didn't make as much money as they had hoped, and they were kind of like, "Wait a minute," and so they were, talking to Tim Burton, and they seems like they were going to sort of not go with his vision a little bit. So
I saw a Tim Burton. I saw a Tim Burton thing,
continues.
where he addresses this, and he said that Warner Brothers brought him in. They were like, "Hey, don't you want to kind of maybe try do something else? I mean, you don't want to do this, basically."
Yeah,
and then he went home and was like, basically like, "Oh, I guess they just don't want me to do it." So.
Well, one of the quotes I read that he gave, I think it was probably later, obviously, but he said, "You complain about me, and then you put nipples on the bat suit. Go fuck yourself." That's what he said. Apparently, yeah. So, he's still a producer.
Yeah, is it like that thing where because he did the first two, he's automatically producer credit, kind of like?
Yeah, I think that's in name
really?
only.
Well, like
they said he never showed up on the set.
Yeah,
but he approved Joel Schumacher being the next director.
Yeah, well, if you get kicked off of a project and they go, "Who do you want to replace you?" I feel like I don't care. Yeah, that guy's fine.
Who gives
I
a
don't
shit?
care.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, just give me my money for my producer credit.
Yeah, I'm sure he did. Yeah, make a boatload of money.
Can I make a small comment that we're talking about the credits? There's something about that Batman font, like the angular one, that really grinds my gears. I do not like that font.
I kind of like it, actually. They used it on the comic book, I remember, at the time.
They did, yeah.
You like the big, like, gold and black kind of thing?
You like the one that looks sort of like Impact meets like college font.
Yeah. I like that one instead. But I don't like that. I just don't like that font. It offends me because I think I was so offended by this movie when it came out that I kind of was like, I'm putting childish things away. I don't like comic books at all anymore.
Here we go. All right.
That's how I felt about X-Men 3.
Also, I was doing a lot of drugs at the time, so I don't think I care.
That's probably part of
that's
it too,
X-Men 3 caused me to go do a lot of drugs too, so guess we have that in common.
All right, so the main thing, I guess, with getting rid of Tim Burton is they also they replaced Michael Keaton.
Yeah, Michael Keaton had like one meeting with Joel Schumacher apparently, and when Joel said something along the lines of, "Why does it have to be so dark? It's a comic book," kind of thing, Keaton was sort of like, "Have you ever even read a Batman comic?" And that was when he decided, "I don't think I'm going to do this."
Yeah. And there were different, people up, and they decided. Val Kilmer, apparently, this is weird. He had like some kind of dream or probably drug-induced vision, and he saw a bat in it, and he accepted without reading the script.
Oh, I had heard that he had been doing that lion and the something around, and he was actually in a bat cave earlier that day. And
that movie with Michael Douglas. What was that?
Yeah, the Lion and the Man.
Oh, it wasn't the Lion.
The Hunter.
Is it called The Most Dangerous Game?
No, I forget. It's something in the something, but I forget.
Or The Game. Oh.
The game of the the game is a different Michael Douglas.
Michael Douglas. Yeah, right.
And Sean Penn.
Yeah.
The Lion and the Elephant.
Well, it's something like that.
I just want to call it The Lion in Winter. I know that's absolutely wrong.
You're going to make me look this up? All right.
Yes. I'm going to just keep saying
you're gonna
the
name
Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
Oh, my God. Talk amongst yourselves. Oh, my God. It's so long ago.
Yes.
You know how old we are?
Are we?
Yeah, I think about it daily.
Yeah. Look how old you've become.
But that's
The Ghost and the Darkness.
Well, where's the lion coming in on this one?
Well, they hunted lions.
Oh, okay.
Well, what's in the closet? R. Kelly or the wardrobe or?
I don't know. It's called The Ghost in the Darkness. But I was working at the movie theater and I played that movie. Now I was
working at the video store when it came out on video.
God, so old. Anyway,
they don't even have video stores anymore.
That's true. That's how old we are. But anyway, so yeah, they have Val Kilmer, and as we mentioned, Jim Carrey was the biggest thing in the world then. I think he got like $20 million to do this movie.
No.
And that was like a big deal at the time, like an actor getting paid that much money to do a movie. I can't verify that that's true.
Val Kilmer got $6 million to do this movie, and was going to get more for each subsequent Batman.
But, no shit.
I guess that didn't pan out.
We won't be seeing that.
Him actually reading the script this time and whoa, I don't think so.
Him and Schumacher had a couple spats apparently on the set, and there was one time where Val Kilmer was yelling at some stagehands, and then Schumacher was like, "Hey, cut the shit," and then Val Kilmer didn't talk to him for like 2 weeks.
I gotta say though, if you wear the bat cowl, you're obliged to yell at stagehands. Didn't Christian Bale do the same thing?
Yeah.
Christian Bale.
You are obliged.
I think that was in the Terminator movie.
It was a Terminator movie, though. Yeah.
But no, I mean, I'm just saying that if you are Batman, you can say whatever the fuck you want to anyone.
Yeah, you gotta go just be an asshole. But to be fair, Val Kilmer was going through a divorce at the time, and his father had passed away the previous year, so he wasn't in the best place mentally, and
he had a reputation. He actually did. He had a reputation back then for being difficult to work with.
So Schumacher said something about Val Kilmer did me 2 favors. One was that he said yes to the Batman role, and 2 was like set up a situation so that I didn't have to hire him back for the next one. So
he was coming off
weird.
Yeah.
Schumacher's relationship to this whole thing is so weird because it's like he genuinely kind of is into it, but
he seems like someone I would have liked. He seems like he was a nice person.
It seems like when I heard the commentary or like people talking about him, it just kind of like he was like, I'm making comic book, which meant to him just like a 50s or like, Batman 66 kind of thing. He's like, but I like to make a comic book movie. I really want to do this. And like, I just want it to be bright and colorful.
Yeah, I actually I don't mind the visuals and whatnot. It just it goes out of control in the next movie where it's like, oof. But this movie is not as bad as the reputation it has.
I agree.
I don't think it's the greatest movie ever. There are definitely problems, but I think a few edits and maybe some different acting choices, this could have been really good.
There is as with almost every movie these days, there is actually a legitimate release, the Schumacher cut.
Well, Kevin Smith had it at his movie theater.
Oh, okay.
Because you know how you could, remember how we did that private screening thing? You know what I mean? Like he made it like a private party because a fan of his on like whatever Batman Beyond was like got a hold of it somehow, and they like screened it there, and like he did like a reaction video to it, and I watched somebody.
Clay,
reaction.
Kevin Smith. Let's
why don't we get that? Let's get that going. Yeah.
But basically the guy, and I think Kevin Smith. It's been a while since that came out, but like, but they said there was more of like a Batman Year One kind of vibe, like a kind of more origin stuff, and like
there's a bunch of
stuff.
There's a bunch of stuff about like Batman's whole origin and things, and it actually, I think, in the cutscenes explains why the movie is called Batman Forever, because he sort of wants to give it up or something, and then by the end of the movie he realizes he can't. He realizes he sees Batman Forever. I think that's what it was. I saw that stuff a few weeks ago when we talked about doing this movie. So
I mean, all I heard was that like it was going to deal more with the duality of Bruce Wayne and Batman and Two-Face and all, like sort of, because there's a couple times where he says like we all wear masks and whatever, and even the idea Chase Meridien, Nicole Kidman's character. I mean, Meridian is like a line between two, things, and I mean, honestly, if they released it, I would see it. So
I would too.
Yeah.
I mean, they probably would just make the movie better. Yeah. Or maybe not. Maybe not.
I'm trying to think of there's the 2 times. There's obviously the Donner cut, and then there's like the Star Trek, the motion picture. I mean, there's plenty, but like
the Snyder cut, I think. The Snyder Cut sort of changes.
I don't think that you could really Snyder cut this. I think you could only like kind of slightly put a couple of things in it and maybe cut some stuff out. But I don't think it's going to be that different of a. It's not going to be an 8-hour movie.
It was this original cut was 3 hours. So
wow,
it was really no shit.
Yeah.
And this one was 2, right?
Yeah. So like a good chunk of like the narrative got cut out. The whole duality that was like a big part of the original script. So
very interesting.
Yeah.
But let's face it, like they were under pressure to make toys, and you can tell. I can tell as like a old grumpy man that that was just a toy. At the time, I was very excited about this movie.
I remember.
Oh, really?
I came back from San Francisco, and like the following day, we went and saw Die Hard with a Vengeance, which because I couldn't see it because I was away for a couple of weeks. So we went and saw it, and they played a preview for Batman Forever, and I was like, I kind of want to watch that now instead of this.
I was super excited about this movie. I liked a lot of Joel Schumacher's movies. He did Flatliners. He did The Lost Boys, right?
Yeah.
He has great
Falling
movies.
Yeah,
Down. Like,
Falling Down with Michael Douglas. From The Ghost in the Darkness, or The Lion in the Winter, or whatever the hell you called that movie.
I think he's a great director. This really does, these movies stand out in such a weird way. Is it just because of the visuals, or like what is it about this? Would he have considered this a success?
I mean, it was the highest grossing movie that year, so
yeah, he doesn't care.
That's a success.
Outgrossing Durst and the Firestarters.
Yeah, just by a couple bucks. All right,
by a couple million.
Let's not talk. Let's get into this.
Yeah, one sec. Okay. I just have to step away for 1 sec. Sorry.
All right. Maybe we'll just say this right now, and if John comes back, he'll chime in. This movie has one of my favorite U2 songs. Maybe my favorite U2 song of all time.
It has my favorite Seal song.
Well,
my favorite Seal song. I gotta say, I don't have anything nice to say about U2.
I love that song, though.
You don't have to say anything bad about us, too.
Ah!
Hey.
Good night, everybody.
Yep, that's
even though you did it. You did the joke.
No, that's right. More of a... That song isn't that bad, but I don't really love the band. I don't love them. They're not my favorite, as Stacy would say when I'm like, "Do you want some of this? Some of these chocolate covered pretzels?"
sauce?
She'd be like, "Yeah." They're not my favorite, which means she hates them.
All right. I mean, I don't like their politics. They have a few good songs, but this is
I thought you did like their politics.
U2? No, he's a little.
I didn't mean to bug you.
They're super liberal.
Big mouth. I mean, I guess I do like their.
I guess I'm on the same page, but maybe he's a little too much. A little too in your face.
Shut your mouth. Let's talk about this movie though. First of all, Batman Returns, which you'll have to go to an alternate universe to listen to. I talked about how much I love Danny Elfman's score. It really sets the tone. Oh, I love Danny Elfman. And then we got
this guy.
What's his name?
Elliot
Goldsman or something like that.
Elliot Rosenthal.
Goldsman's
the writer.
Akiva Goldsman is the writer,
who's now like a producer on Strange New Worlds.
Oh, yes. No, but this soundtrack is not as good. It's not. I mean, the score. It's not.
It's fine. It's fine.
But it doesn't.
Yeah, but you do miss the. I mean, it's close enough that I didn't even notice the theme had changed the first time we saw it.
Yeah, I guess you're probably the first time I probably didn't notice either. But right off the bat, pun intended, you almost it sets the tone for the entire movie. He's getting ready to go out, and Alfred says, "Can I interest you in a sandwich?"
And then he's like, "Hey, McDonald's, I'll get drive-through."
Yeah, was that a shot at McDonald's? Maybe.
No, I think it was sort of a like, "Hey, we're on your side, guys."
Yeah.
Of which I still have my Batman Forever glass from that time.
I remember those. Yeah.
Yeah, they're good.
All right, so he goes out, and meanwhile, Two-Face, Harvey Two-Face, as he is called apparently, is kidnapped. A guy. He's robbing a bank. They're in the vault, which I guess we know from a previous podcast, you would die. I guess, right? If you were locked in a vault for like a weekend. Didn't we talk about that one?
Yeah, I think we did. What was that?
I don't remember.
I don't know. But I couldn't tell. Was that guy like attached to the ceiling in there? How was he tied up?
I don't know.
That guy.
He was tied up somehow. And like at some parts,
He's like they captured the exposition guy.
yeah, basically.
So he's like, "Oh no, my glasses! Oh, it's acid! Oh, we're getting pulled out! Oh, it's Batman!
It
Oh,
says, like,
Two-Face, you hurt me!"
It's boiling acid. And it's like it could be either boiling or acid, but
Yeah, I
why
was
does it
just
need to be
thinking the
both?
same.
They're both
Well, because
like
it's
pretty
just twice
dangerous.
as dangerous.
Don't get those on your skin.
Yeah, either it's boiling or it's both. It's twice as deadly. So
It's bad.
yeah, but it's funny because Two-Face, there's only a few moments in the movie where he does this, but he's
kind of intimidating in this first shot. You're like, "Whoa, yeah, that's good." He's intense, and then he turns to camera, and you see that his face is half craggy. Oh no, it's all craggy, just a little more on one side.
Different color.
And then he's like, "Wah, wah, wah, wah," and he just turns into like a ridiculous over-the-top guy.
I gotta say, as soon as you see his dumb Two-Face makeup, I think it looks really like bad. Like I just think it looks terrible.
I agree.
Blah.
Did you see the original makeup test shot? It looked much better. It wasn't pink, and it wasn't too different, but it was different enough that you're like, "Oh, that works." Pink face.
You know what? When we do when I try to maybe see what other people are saying about this, there wasn't a ton of people even reviewing this movie on YouTube, which I thought was surprising.
Yeah, I know. You can add ours to the. But anyway, so Batman shows up. He's down on the ground. My favorite Commissioner Gordon is there. Here it is. The signal.
Let's go. He brought drive-through.
Somebody pointed out he was like this Commissioner Gordon has no other cops that work for him. He's just he only shows up by himself.
The next movie he will, because my favorite joke Durson made in it is but we'll get there. We'll get there.
We'll get there. We'll record that.
It's like, it's Batman. But anyway, and then we meet Chase Meridien, who is Nicole Kidman.
Yeah, and she is thirsty for some bat.
Yeah.
Bat dung.
And they have this.
This is one of the horniest movies I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah. She is at the height of her horniness.
Yes.
For Batman.
Everybody is.
Well, I guess but she especially. She goes all in. But I mean, I'm just gonna say she's looking fine.
Oh, I think this is the best she's looked at any movie I've seen of her.
Yeah,
she's a total woman, as she used to say.
I was a big fan of hers back then.
Yeah, she looked good. Straight hair, I think, was a new thing. She had always had the kind of curly hair.
Yeah, she had very curly.
But I think it gave her a different kind of look. She looked good.
You know, it's funny about it because originally Rene Russo was cast to play. And the studio was like, she's too old, but she was 6 years older than Kilmer.
Yeah, and she still looked amazing. She still looks amazing today.
She's still beautiful. Damn.
Absolutely. So, yeah, both studios. So
the studio also didn't think that Nicole Kidman was sexy enough for it until they shot this scene. And they were like, you're right.
Yeah, Joel had to push for him. So he does the Batman thing where she turns around and he's gone. You know, they do that in every Batman movie, which I guess is
that
okay.
was rude.
He does that, which they say in Dark Knight, which I always like. So and then he goes up and he fights Two-Face's goons. They're all dressed in neon.
Yeah, and they've got ski masks that are half. But this is where I noticed the difference between the costume from Keaton and the Kilmer costume. I think the Kilmer costume is better because first of all, it's slimmer and they're doing actual fights and it looks good.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And Kilmer's doing some fighting too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's no wonder Nicole Kidman was all, he's got abs and everything. It looks.
She's got rubber abs.
And pretty much everybody auditioning used that suit for every Batman. Even I think fucking Robert Pattinson. Like everybody
wow.
like uses that one.
Nice. That's pretty cool.
I would
They're
also
always
like
they
to
got the
sort of,
Kilmer suit.
as an aside, the first and only comic book convention that I was invited to as a professional was for when the Harbinger book was released, way back.
I remember.
Yeah, you went with me. But that's the whole thing. But
Yeah.
right next to us was Val Kilmer doing like meet and greets and pictures with fans and stuff. And he gave us a smile and a hello as he walked by our table.
Nice.
Nice.
So he's all right
great.
in my book.
I think. I mean, sure. There were stories that went around in the '90s, but if you watch Val, on Amazon.
Full disclosure, I have not seen that, but I hear it's like a little bit of a sad story. I do want to watch it.
It's not. I thought it was going to be a lot more sad than it was.
No, he's actually. I mean, throat cancer is no picnic, but he's generally a happy guy, I think.
Yeah, I think when you go through something like that, it might change the way you look at things.
Yeah, sure.
So
wish him all the best. Love you as
absolutely. Highly recommend the movie though. Very interesting stuff. So anyway, so yeah, he Batman and the guy, the guard, the exploratory or whatever.
The exposition guard.
Exposition guard get locked in the safe.
He's like, look out, the door is closing.
He's like, oh
no, it got locked.
As we point out, the boiling acid, which just comes out of like it's like the safety deposit boxes or whatever. Like, how did that get in there?
Two-Face made it. He's like, I'd like to deposit this boiling acid. Please.
I guess so.
I'll be withdrawing it at a certain point.
You're gonna have to keep it boiling.
Yeah, can you do that?
You could just put it on a kettle, right? That we have behind underneath the safety deposit boxes.
So Batman takes the guy's hearing aid. Thankfully, he has a hearing aid, and he's like, "What are you doing? That's my hearing aid." Why does he have to say everything in that voice too?
Well, I also want to point out that
I had a stroke.
that this movie has one of like the most infamous extras when Batman comes down to see Commissioner Gordon and Chase, where there's a guy standing behind her pointing up going, "Ah, it's Batman!" Ah! And I guess he's fairly infamous, sort of like the sweeping guy from Quantum of Solace that's not sweeping the ground.
I heard there as an extra is also Jon Favreau.
Oh yeah, he's in a scene.
Yeah.
At the Wayne Enterprises.
And so is Senator Leahy, who was him, and he makes his way into a lot of these Batman movies because he just loves it. He's the biggest Batman fan.
Huge Batman fan. Yeah. So, anyways, Batman gets out using the guy's hearing aid because he can crack the combination, I guess, or whatever, and somehow Two-Face, he's pulling the vault up in a helicopter, and then Batman cuts the thing, and it just goes right back down into where it was.
Well, I mean, he shot his like bat rope or something, right?
His bat rope. Yeah,
it's good. It's very strong. He used Superman's hair.
Maybe that's it. Yeah. But it just goes like right back into whence it came, as they say.
There was an extended sequence here that they were going to do originally, where he's hanging under the helicopter, and they were gonna drag him, almost like our Superman 4, where he goes through the paint factory that we made up as children. That they were gonna bring him, like crash him through a tea factory or something like that, and drag him through hot tea or something. So, which is almost as bad as boiling acid.
I know. I mean, it could have been boiling acid. So anyway, yeah, he's hanging on to the chopper, and he gets in, and Harvey Two-Face is doing all like, why can't you just die, or whatever, like he's being all over the top and goofy. And he takes out the club to like lock the steering wheel of the helicopter, and he steers.
Is that how helicopters work? I wasn't sure.
I don't know. I mean, did like the club get some sort of product placement for this or something? I was like, that seems pretty goofy to me, but he steers it at the Statue of Liberty, and he jumps out, and it crashes. Batman jumps and lands in the water, and it's fine.
And that's the end.
I mean, I don't know what. I guess Two-Face gets away, because he has a
'cause
parachute.
he
Batman
parachutes.
also got away because I guess he used the cape. I don't know. I don't even remember, but
Doesn't matter. Batman's
Doesn't
Batman.
matter.
What
You
what
can
do you
survive
guys think
anything.
of this like completely ridiculous looking Gotham with that? It's like,
I think it's fine.
what about all the? I feel like the lighting effects where it like looks like something you'd set up on the side of your house for Halloween is a little bit
Yes.
too much.
Yes, it does. Yes,
Yeah,
it does.
it's
But that
vastly
was
different.
Schumacher. If you watch
Yeah.
Flatliners,
I guess it
there's,
was the
like,
style of the. I guess
neon
it's
all over the place.
I can't. I don't mind the black light thing. I don't mind, but like the weird light. Everything had like a
Like a
light shining,
twirling
like
thing
you wouldn't be
going on
able
it.
to sleep anywhere in Gotham. You'd be
But
like,
they all-
can I
they're all-
black out these
They all
curtains?
have apartments next to Kenny Rogers chickens.
Kenny Rogers Roast.
Exactly.
That's right. There's our Seinfeld reference, everybody.
There you go. I made it this time. So, Darcy, you got to make a James Bond reference.
Oh, okay. I can
Okay.
do that. Yeah, I mean, it's a different aesthetic. I don't know, you know. It was
I
the
don't think
style at the
it's
time.
it's not as far. I guess again, it wasn't jarring to me at the time. So
There's a kind of a visual like language of like the big statues from the Burton films. They're kind of in it, but just kind of in a different style. So it's kind of like
yeah, it was still
the
all
same,
of
a
Burton's
little.
production team working
Yeah.
on this. So I don't know.
Yeah,
It's fine.
I mean,
I don't. It doesn't
I
bother me. I
agree.
just knew that's how. The next one is where I get like, all right, guys, tone it
Right.
down. Stop
Yeah.
being Batman 66 here. You can just
Yeah.
Yeah,
Don't do
I mean, this has hints of Batman 66.
Yeah,
Sure.
you could see
Not
where it goes, but
Right.
or almost like old comics, like where it's like
yes, yeah.
you know,
We're like
Yeah, I
Zebra
think-
Batman.
yeah. Just
Yeah, he
weird.
wasn't exactly going for Dark Knight Returns. You know, he was more going for like a lighter kind of the blue and gray.
He wanted the theaters
kind
to
of
be full
Yes.
of people.
All right, so Bruce Wayne in our next scene, Val Kilmer as Bruce Wayne goes to this Wayne Tech sort of science lab, and here he meets Edward Nygma, Jim Carrey, and he's all nerdy and goofy, and he's excited to meet Bruce Wayne, and he has this.
Jim
Sort
Carrey
of-
as Jim Carrey in Jim Carrey's.
Yeah, this
Batman
is
Forever.
when Jim Carrey could only play Jim Carrey.
Yeah,
I know it's true.
it's not the worst thing in the world. I
It's
gotta
not
say.
because it's when they
he is
it's when they redo it in Amazing Spider-Man 2 that it becomes the worst thing in the world.
Mm.
Amazing
I was just like-
Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, when I saw it, I was like, why Jamie Lee Fox? Wait, it's Jamie,
Jamie
Foxx.
Foxx. Well, maybe his middle name is Lee. I
From
don't know.
Halloween.
Yes,
Couldn't
Jamie
tell.
Lee, Curtis Fox, because he essentially plays the same exact role in that movie, and it's awful.
Well, I mean, Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze is basically just a worse version of this. Like, that's the problem, or whatever. But I mean, like,
You're totally right. It's hard
Like-
not to at least reference that other movie. Like
I
in
know we'll
comparison.
get there. As we
But
keep
I mean,
saying.
I think this is probably the better movie, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, but everybody wanted to be Jack Nicholson. I think.
Yeah, that's the problem.
The
two of
Everybody's
them did.
acting.
The two of them did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but everybody's
different
acting's turned
ways.
up to 11 in this movie, and it's just like, oh, dial it back. You know?
And I didn't
Yeah.
realize that part of like what happens later is that Jim Carrey's doing impressions of other cast members and stuff like when he gets powers. And so
Yeah.
it's like wow, it's like that's too meta for 1995. I didn't catch that. I only caught it this time.
because we couldn't cringe then, and we couldn't be meta back then. So it was-
No, we couldn't. It wasn't
95.
Yeah,
allowed.
it was a different time.
yeah, it wasn't a
It
thing.
was a different time, you guys.
So, anyways, Edward Nygma has this idea about reading people's brain waves. It's never really quite explained, I guess, what it is, but it's like a virtual reality kind of thing. Like, you put on my helmet and you see fish or
Yeah,
whatever.
no, you put on a blender that spins around, and
Yeah.
you see fish. Yeah,
But it
you
also
go
does look
fishing.
like Doc's flux capacitor from
It kinda- yeah,
the
whatever
future too.
I'm gonna
Like
read
this
your
just
thoughts.
that was the style at the time. It's just a gigantic thing with like a blender on it for some reason. All right.
I know, it's goofy. It's goofy. So then, like, he's like, I just need a little more money. And Bruce Wayne sees the bat signal, and he's like, I gotta go. And he's like, why?
during the day.
No, it's
Right?
It's night. No, it's night.
It was like I don't know, because there was that CG shot of the Wayne Enterprises with kind of dusk, I guess.
I guess. Well, maybe Ed would really talk to Zero, in time.
Yeah, it was
time
it was
flew.
like it was a different time back then.
Yeah,
faster in the 90s. Yeah, but also the black woman from Flatliners is in this scene that Kevin Bacon used to tease.
Yeah,
So,
she's
all
in
the
a
old
lot of
Schumacher.
She was in The Client too.
Yeah, he reuses a bunch of cast
Yeah.
from previous movies.
So, anyways, his idea, Bruce Wayne isn't into it. He's like, you're manipulating people's brain waves. You can be, you can get you can get stuff out of them. It's not right.
And but you know what? Enigma was ahead of his time, because now we just go like, yeah, don't take my personal information, Facebook or TikTok or whatever your social media platform of choice is.
Yep. So whatever you're listening to this podcast on, they've probably stolen your data.
Yes.
Sorry.
It was a different time back then, though. People had ethics.
So anyways, he blows him off and he's very mad. Edward Nygma is very mad. As we find out, so then we actually show him going down this tube into the bat cave or whatever.
Well, first of all, he says, he's like, door, and then the door closes. He's like, chair, and the chair slides down. Now, what happens if he's having a conversation about the door and the chair to someone else? Someone's like, hey, Bruce, man, this is a nice chair. I'm going to sit on this. And he's like, oh, no, you said chair.
That was exactly how Colin Robinson met his fate in the Vampire Counts in the What We Do in the Shadows.
That's right.
He just slid. The chair fell away and he slid down into a hole.
Maybe
he didn't slide into the Batcave. But I guess there are several Batcaves or something around the city.
I think he's got a little a little summer home. Batcave.
Yeah. And he's got his little
cottage.
You go to the bank, sort of pneumatic tube.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of like an Alexa or something. Yeah, chair. Shoo, when he goes down. I mean, it's weird. But anyways, he shows up, and it was Chase. Nicole Kidman set off the bat signal because she wanted
a date.
Chat. Yeah, it's like basically a booty call, and he's just
a baddie call.
Oh,
hey! Hashtag baddie call.
Hashtag not a beeper. Another 90s reference. There's no beepers really anymore.
Oh yeah. But what's also interesting is later at the circus scene, Harvey Two-Face, says put all your belongings, jewelry, this and that, and cellular phones.
Cellular telephones. He wants to steal cellular telephones. Yeah, I noticed that too.
Nicole Kidman, though, she in an interview, she was like, "I'm the first person that gets to kiss Batman." But is that true? No, it's not, because Michelle Pfeiffer was licking all over.
Totally
well, that's licking. Yeah. That's not kissing. That's two different things.
Yeah, that's the French style.
It's part of
the French style.
A certain kind of kissing, yes. But
she does mention it, or she does ask him if she should wear vinyl and carry a whip.
To which Batman was like, "Yes, go on."
Sure. I mean, that won't hurt your chances. But I mean, she really is, driving pretty hard here. It's fine. There's a funny line where he says, "Chicks dig the car." I thought, yeah, she's like,
and chicks do dig this car. This is a nice car.
Yeah. When he says the car, right? Chicks dig the car.
Which they reuse
when she takes her jacket off, kind of there, and you can see her shoulders and everything. She's quite fit. Yeah. So, and then Commissioner Gordon shows up and poops on the whole thing.
He shows up in his lingerie and his version of lingerie, which is the striped pajamas or something. And he'd have a little nightcap on. He's like, "I saw the signal. What's going on? The signal.
Yeah, the signal. I saw the signal." So he's like, "Oh," they're like, "Oh, nothing." And then he leaves and he gets back in his car. And he has women.
I also, what? After that. Then there's the shot of the flames coming out, the booster in the back there. And I was like, that's a really good shot because it's kind of slow-mo-ish. So works for me. I don't know why that one stands out, but it's a good shot.
As opposed to everything else that was sped up, I guess, or whatever.
Yeah, I guess so.
All right, so we go back to to Edward Nygma's office, and he's still working on his thing. He's all pissed off because Bruce Wayne told him he didn't want him, wasn't going to give him any more money or whatever. And his boss comes in, overacting like you've never seen before.
Ed Begley Jr.
Is that who it is? I didn't
It is.
know.
Yes.
Oh my God, that's hilarious. But he's like, Nygma, what are you doing here?
They have all these great
Weird
actors
random
in here, and
cameos,
they're just like acting, just like they're playing to the moon or something. It's just not. It's
terrible.
just too much. What is this, Nygma?
Nygma, what are you doing? And then, so between Jim Carrey and him, they're like really just, the scenery has been chewed like into bubble gum.
Yes.
And so Nygma knocks him out, puts this little thing on his head, and I guess this is where you see the fish or whatever the hell it was, and the guy's like, whoa! But meanwhile, he like
virtual reality
turn the power
fishing.
up, and he's able to like get his brain waves, and Edward becomes smarter, I guess, because I don't know,
Because he's sucking out his brain.
Because
Right.
I didn't exactly get this. It's like you take like, it's almost like a rogue thing. Like you take that person's skills and smarts with that.
I guess.
So that's how, allowing Mr. Carrey to do his wonderful impressions of people on the cast.
I guess that's what it is.
Yeah, his little song and dance was a great impression of Ed Begley Jr.
And he does like The Price is Right or whatever.
Yeah,
something.
yeah. There's so
Bad.
sometimes you just don't let someone like Jim Carrey do what they want. I feel that way because Robin Williams was offered the part. I feel like he would have done the same thing.
Yeah. Well, Robin Williams felt that they were just sort of
Yeah,
using
they were using
him
him, so
to
he
get
was
Jack
like, go
Nicholson.
fuck yourself.
Yeah, so he wasn't going to do it again. But yeah, Jim Carrey, they just gave him a little too much leeway, and whatever.
I think Jim Carrey now might do a better job, but Jim Carrey then was just
Sure.
He was essentially Ace Ventura and everything.
Yeah. So he pushes the guy out the window, and then he like alters the footage to make it look like he jumped out the window and whatever. And then he sends Bruce Wayne a riddle.
They spent $5 making this.
This riddle. I don't even remember. Whatever. It's like a match or something. But it doesn't even matter because none of the riddles like really factor into the plot that much. So not like in the Batman, like the Batman. So
And Schumacher was just like, he's like, I don't know, people can do puzzles. I'm not a puzzle guy. I can never do it. That was funny. The commentary is pretty good, but that guy is a horny bastard. And it was a different time.
Really?
It was a different time. But yeah, he's like always talking about it. He's like, basically just poured Nicole into that dress. It's basically a bathing
Yeah,
suit.
but-
Ha ha.
He's not that horny because he's gay.
yeah,
Well,
He sounded horny.
He was gay.
He sounded
Well,
horny.
I think
He's like,
when
I
you're-
can get away with it because
Yeah, you can talk about a beautiful woman in that way if you're gay. But he did mention about that he had gotten flack for objectifying the human body, and he's like, "So what's wrong with that?" To which I say, "Yeah, whatever. You do you, Joel."
Meanwhile,
It's a different time.
yeah, it was a
It was a
different time.
different time.
Speaking of, Bruce Wayne has made an appointment with Chase Meridien, and he hears like noises outside her door, and he knocks the door down, and she's in there boxing.
As one
Right.
does.
Yeah, she's just boxing in her office.
Foxy boxing.
So she's wearing this, sort of, workout outfit thing, and whatever.
You know what? How
Ba, ba,
early
ba,
was he
boo.
for the appointment?
I know.
first of all?
Like,
She's still working out, and second of all, she doesn't have like someone at the front like it's a pretty fancy office building. She doesn't have someone at the front desk being like, you know, your 1
Oh.
o'clock is here. And
right.
she's like, well, I just
Or
gotta
also like
finish
Mr.
my
Wayne.
Thai bow.
Mr. Wayne, you need to fill out paperwork for like
That's 90s.
20 minutes and then just sit in here and wait
Yeah,
for me to be
right.
done.
Yeah, don't just
see you
walk
for
up
like
to the
3
door.
minutes. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a 3-minute hour.
It's a
I know.
it's a 3-minute hour.
Well, I mean, it's obviously because she made an impression on him as Batman, but she doesn't know he's Batman. and
She
all
was
that
doing
thing.
impressions of him as Batman?
Yeah, just like
Jim
Jim Carrey was doing.
How's
He
my
shows
mole?
her the riddles and whatever, and then he sees there's like a Rorschach, And he's like, "Oh, you have a thing for bats?" And she's like, "Do you have a thing for bats? It's a Rorschach. You see
It's
what
a
you want."
crossover with the Watchmen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he's sort of like, speaking of pouring her into that, he says, we got to get you out of those clothes and into a black dress. And they go to the circus.
Where you would
Weird
always
thing
wear
to do.
black.
Right. I guess it's like a fancy.
There aren't even circuses anymore, are there? They're all done now, right?
No, there's
don't know.
there's circuses.
There aren't? Okay, because
Yeah.
I know like the big, was it Ringling Brothers that closed down?
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, so.
I have a
This is
friend
like-
that
Sorry,
does
sorry to
like
interrupt.
I have a friend that does that like trapeze stuff.
Oh, no shit.
Is he a flying Grayson?
No, she,
Oh.
Darlene
'Cause
Grayson.
she-
Oh, wait a minute. I never realized her last name was Grayson. Wow.
Fuck.
Fuck.
She's a
Every time they say flying Graysons, I think of the Oh Yeah podcast, because that's what they referred to. Some guy that came up and sat on their table once, and his flying Graysons were hanging out his shorts.
Oh, no.
Another Colin Robinson.
Oh.
Every time they say flying Graysons, that's all I could think of.
That
No,
really
this is-
describes it too. It
I
really,
know, it's great. Fly.
and guess what? Two of these things aren't going to stay for that long. Only one survives.
That's right. Well, these Graysons all meet their fate. All right, so the flying Graysons are at this thing, and they're doing their thing, and
Zipping
the young
around
one-
with there's like, wow, why are they all wearing Robin costumes?
I think the woman that's also there as a reporter who's like, Bruce Wayne.
Oh yes,
Who is
that
this? Blah, blah, blah. I think that's Bob Kane's wife.
That
It is.
correct. Yeah, and she is also overacting. Just
Yeah,
like
she gets even
everyone else.
worse in the next one.
Yeah, she's like, oh,
Oh,
I've had a
I'm
stroke.
Digby
Like,
Masters.
so then, of course, Two-Face shows up to rob, I guess. I don't, because all the Gotham's elite are here, and he has literally like this Looney Tune style big round bomb or something that Wile E. Coyote would have used.
Yes.
So
Or Batman
ridiculous.
66.
Or
the
yes,
movie.
that Batman the movie. Yes.
Yeah. So he wants Batman to. He's like, and he actually says like, odds are one of you pasty-faced twits is Batman, which he is correct because Bruce Wayne is there. So he's gonna blow the place up.
But
and
it's
let
weird
Batman
when yeah, it's weird when he's like, "It's me."
I love that line actually. When it's chaos. Everyone's yelling and screaming.
Batman.
Yeah.
What did you
Bruce Wayne
say?
stands up. He says, Harvey, I'm Batman.
Someone next to him had to have heard. Be like, this jerk
I know.
next to me in the tux.
I thought
Well, he's
Chase
sitting
might
right
have
next
heard
to.
him.
Yeah, he's sitting right next to her. Whatever. I think it's I think it's funny, and it
No,
also
it is
kind
funny.
of covers.
It is funny.
It covers up that like, well, why didn't you just, But anyway, he leaves so he can go get changed, and then meanwhile the Graysons, the flying Graysons, are like, we can stop him, and then Dick gets the bomb, the big goofy bomb, and he pushes it out the roof of the big tub. I don't even know why this bomb is rising for some reason. Why don't you just
So
leave
you
it on the
could
ground?
blow up the ceiling? I don't know. Collapse the ceiling on everyone.
Anyway, yeah, he pushes it down into the water. Meanwhile, all this is going on, and Edward Nygma is watching on TV, and he's laughing. He likes the fact he's getting inspired by Two-Face. Like, oh, I can be a supervillain. So I guess whatever. Meanwhile, the Graysons are all up there swinging around, and Two-Face shoots the cable, and they all fall to their deaths. All the flying
So
Graysons.
They're the falling Graysons now.
Yeah. Next time you're wearing shorts, think about that.
And it's literally like onto a gigantic target in the middle of the big top.
Yeah, I know. They all land right in the bullseye.
I thought Bruce Wayne didn't get changed. He was down there punching everybody
I
in
guess
his
he was.
tuxedo.
Yeah, you're right. He never really did. He never did become Batman there.
Yeah.
You're my mistake. It's later
That's
when
okay.
he does that.
Yeah, he hops in the car later, right? I'm
Yeah.
just like, you got to
Yeah.
change in the car.
Yeah. So, anyways, there, the one surviving Grayson, Dick Grayson.
Dick. For the longest dick.
Dick. So
The 35-year-old man was not me. I thought I was going to be cast as Robin.
Oh
in
yeah,
movies,
listen to our
as you well
Batman
know.
Returns episode to listen
As
to
you-
Clay's story
as
about
you-
being
as-
cast in Batman
As
Returns.
you well know, I was supposed to have already taken the role, but this older gentleman did.
You know what? Everyone
was he
gives
that
him.
old?
He wasn't that old, but
How
I
old was
mean,
Chris O'Donnell.
he does act like it's written for someone younger than him, though.
Yeah.
I think that's the
Yeah.
problem. Where they're like, "Oh, thanks for adopting this 25-year-old Bruce Wayne." You know, it's like
That's,
Sure, it
that's
is.
what that's what the Thurston's favorite commissioner. He's like, oh, thanks for
taking him in, Bruce. But then he wants to leave. Yeah. Like, well, why don't you just get a job and then he can afford
Yeah,
rent?
just get a. Like, he could be a solo act now. The Flying Grayson.
Yeah. So, all right. So so he's there and he's like, well, I'm just going to leave. And they're like, oh, well, why don't you gas up your motorcycle there? And then he sees Bruce Wayne's collection of motorcycles and he's like, oh. And then Alfred's like, oh, does he want a sandwich? And he's like, well,
Or is he going to
never
get
mind.
drive?
I'll give it to the dogs. And yeah, Dick is like, well, I guess I'll.
Free sandwich, free motorcycle.
sandwich.
Maybe this is okay.
Yeah.
Maybe this is all right.
Sandwich.
Maybe this isn't creepy.
Yeah,
these-
maybe.
If these guys want to give me a sandwich and a place to stay.
I mean, I guess this is how this is the origin of Robin, like the original origin of Robin, right? From the comics. Like that's basically
Yeah.
how it happened. So
Essentially.
yeah.
Yeah,
They're just following along.
yeah, it's pretty close.
It's pretty
Except,
yeah.
they got Chris O'Donnell from the retirement home, who he
Well,
was
I mean-
80 years older than Val Kilmer.
Yeah.
I'm Robin Beyond.
Well, I mean, I think Chris
Robin
O'Donnell is just a little older than me, and I was 22 when this movie came out. So.
I mean, he's playing young because he played a high school kid in Scent of a Woman just a couple of years before this.
Yes.
But I mean, everybody.
And he played a preschooler in Circle of Friends a couple
Oh.
years before, too.
Yeah, at like 17.
Yeah.
Oh. All right, so like I don't know. There's
I don't hate
you
him.
know.
I don't hate him, but
No,
it is the age
You're
thing. You
right.
have to point it out. We can't be
You're
a,
right.
a podcast about this and not mention it.
Yeah, I mean,
You're
we
right,
barely
you're right.
even mentioned the nipples on the bat suit. So, man, that's
Oh.
the thing everybody else points out.
Oh, you're right. Was
Not
and
that
the
I
nipples
even
pointed out too.
behave. Is it cold in here at Batsy? But
we
that
also
didn't even
point
bother
out
me.
the
I didn't
butt
care.
shot, right? We
Oh,
didn't
the
even
butt
show
shot,
shot.
like,
Yeah.
you get a good butt shot later.
Yeah,
Like, it just
later.
lingers on it. I just remember thinking that was really funny at the
Yeah,
time.
I mean, I think whatever.
It's just like, that's weird. That's just so
Very
weird. It's funny, though.
I think Chase Meridien insisted on that one.
She's like, I'm going to guest direct this scene right here.
So, anyways, he's still having all these visions of his parents and whatever. And there's because Dick Grayson said, "You don't know what it's like," and he's like, "Oh, no, I do." Alfred finds his Flying Grayson's costume, and he's like, "You can burn this." He's like, "No, I will keep it." So, anyways, we get another chase scene to sell some toys next.
Chase Meridien.
Batman. Well, it's like a car chase, but sure. And the Batman, and this is the one, like, because you can have Two Faces guys in their cars, which are all
Yeah,
neon.
what surprised me is this is actually filmed in an actual location in Los Angeles, because it doesn't really look real to me. It looks like
I
that
know.
plot to me.
Yeah,
I'm
right?
sure the going up the side of the building, that's not a real building.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of the famous thing where he shoots his bat rope, and he's able to drive up the side of the building.
But then what? When you reach the top, you're just kind of dangling.
The whole scene is pointless. It doesn't have anything to do with anything.
No, yeah, you're right.
Then we
I
cut-
don't usually watch those pitch meetings things, but I did watch it for this one, and that was the funniest part of that one because he goes like, "So what does he do when he gets up there? I don't know." You know what I mean? It was so funny.
It doesn't make none of it makes sense. It was
If I had
just
known there was a
funny.
pitch meeting for this, I would have watched it.
Oh, it's really funny.
So meanwhile, we cut to Edward Nygma again. He's making his costume using the very 90s computer graphics and stuff. And he's
That's
coming
how,
up with,
that's why I was thinking about how 90s that screen was.
yeah, that was
But
great.
but what's the deal with like the Zoltar like yes or no question
I
thing?
don't know.
You know,
Telling when he comes up with like a bad name, it goes like no, but then it slides, and he finally settles on the Riddler, and it goes yes, and he kind of looks like that guy.
yeah, he just looks like the doll thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but this, why?
Which came first?
Of course,
the Robin
doll
or
is
the
gonna,
egg?
Yeah, exactly. Of course, the doll's going to tell you to dress like him.
Yeah,
He's like,
Just
I've
like
already got the
me.
style. Yeah.
how cool.
That's what
I am.
happens to all my action figures when I walk in the room. They're like, dress like me. No, dress like me.
You say okay.
No. Yes.
So now he goes to see Two-Face and his two ladies. Drew Barrymore and Debbie Mazur are his ladies, and Drew Barrymore is all in white.
Karen.
She's got a harem, yes. So she's like the good side basically, and Debbie Mazur is all in leather and everything, and she's like the acid pink side of Two-Face.
If you look in the background, apparently you can see Jim Carrey waiting for his cue to
Oh,
walk
no,
in.
really? That's perfect. Apparently, these two characters they are called Sugar and Spice. They're originally supposed to be like leather and lace, and they were
Yes.
like, why don't we-"
McDonald's doesn't like leather and lace. They want salty and sweet, and they're like, no, that's dumb.
Yeah,
But
they
that's gonna
wanted
be our
barbecue
caramel
with the hot
vinegar.
mustard.
Yeah. They want Big Mac with fries.
Anyway, Riddler, when he gets his cue, he comes in and he says,
Line.
oh, and he says, so he wants to team up with him, and he doesn't just want to kill Batman. He wants to expose him and humiliate him, and he's going to use his little, thing, which he calls the box, his little mind reader thing.
But it's not a box.
It makes no sense.
Yeah.
No.
Sure.
So their plan is to steal a lot of money and put a box on every TV in America. Or
That was
whatever.
this again, different time. No
Yeah.
GoFundMe back then.
Yeah, right. So we got this great scene that is totally pointless, where Robin, Dick Grayson, is doing
Well-
laundry.
On the commentary track, he talks about this, where he's like, when you watch martial arts films, they're always doing martial arts things in non-martial arts situations. So they wanted to kind of set up that he had some skills, and that's why they did this.
Alright.
It's dumb,
It
a dumb way to
is
do it,
dumb.
but that's the way they did it.
Yeah, this is
But
the
it's
choices
like
that they made.
you wouldn't have known that unless you heard him say that that's what they're doing. Like,
Yeah,
it
right.
kind of does when you describe it. It's like, oh yeah, maybe I've seen that in a Jackie Chan movie or something. But like,
Yeah,
it
right.
was weird. It's really
Yeah,
weird.
if you don't have it explained to you, it just seems like just a dumb scene.
Well, for me,
him drying his
Thursday-
laundry. Yeah.
And
Thursday
the
is
mo-
laundry
the
day,
mop.
so I'll give it a go tomorrow.
Yeah, see you whip it all around. And, yeah.
I do like the mop thing at the end because you're kind of like, oh, he's just wringing that onto the floor, and Alfred's standing right there, like, no. But then he grabs the mop and zip, takes care of
Zip,
everything.
zip, zip, brings it up,
Zip.
pretend it's a lady, gives it a kiss, and then tosses it in the bucket. It's amazing.
What a guy. So then we go back
Alfred's
to the
like,
Robin.
I'm beginning to like this.
I was gonna take all afternoon doing Dick's laundry. So, anyways, we're back to the robbing, and this scene, I don't know. The thing that cracked me up about this is Riddler asked Two-Face how to punch a guy.
Yeah, while the
Oh,
guy
yeah.
just stands.
The guy just and they do it twice. He tells you he's gonna punch
They're like
you.
those. They're like those. What do they call them? Like British guards that just stand there and they can't
Yeah,
react to people coming
outside
up
of
to them. Yeah.
Buckingham Palace or whatever.
The
Yeah.
beef eaters.
It is so weird. I mean, I remember the scene from like when I first saw it, but somehow it didn't dawn on me until this time. Like the guy is literally just watching you do this. Like
Yeah,
he
he's
doesn't
not
react at all.
He's just standing there. He's like, okay, I'll wind up. Okay,
All
wind
right,
up. Yep,
yeah,
yep, do that. And
Why
then,
not- all the-
look, hold on, I'll break. And then he breaks out like this giant whiteboard and draws how to do it while the guy's still standing there waiting. and then finally takes the punch, and still is just standing there.
So the next scene, so a few minutes ago, when he introduced himself to Two-Face, Edward Nygma said, "You could call me the Riddler." And now we get this news broadcast, and the guy says, "People are calling him the Riddler." Like, oh, well, that's good because he calls himself the Riddler.
So it works out. But maybe he left a card behind that said the Riddler on stuff everywhere they were robbing from, and that's why people are calling him that. Because he told them to call him that. He told them to call him that. And the news guy just didn't know that. That was everything. Well, fake news.
Yeah,
et cetera, et cetera.
Speaking of the news, the Gotham News Network logo, just like the CNN logo or any of the classic ones, I think it's the same. It's the same throughout all these movies.
Yeah. Oh, it is. Yeah.
Maybe it changed a little bit, but classic brands like this, Gotham News Network, ABC, Fox, they have the same logo, so you can recognize them instantly.
Stop that, Hitler, whatever what was the critic reference?
Yeah, Ted Turner's killing us. It's that tomahawk chop. The critic. All right, so apparently the box is selling out everywhere, and meanwhile the Riddler is getting smarter every time someone uses it.
Unless someone uses it as a blender by accident.
He's getting really good at impressions of everybody, and apparently Batman's just not doing anything, but they don't really make a thing about it. But meanwhile, he does get another riddle.
Remember, Durson, we were talking, and you said, like, you watch a movie from the 90s, it looks like it's from the 50s. Like, there's something so really cringy and meta. And no, I mean, there's something just very 90s about these computer graphics that really kind of bum me out in a special way. I can't really describe it, but
bum you out in a special
way. I feel like these same effects, like practically in Ghostbusters in the 80s, and it looked way better.
Yeah, it's true. You're right. I guess it's just budgets and whatever.
Well, I think it's computer stuff too. Wasn't really, just.
Yeah, if they use
the technology wasn't there. They did do a lot of model shots in this, though. So
matte paintings.
So meanwhile, Dick is asking about this one door that he can't get in, and Alfred's always like, "Oh, don't mind that." And then Ed, sorry, I was looking at a different line. Alfred goes in there.
But it's like, don't go in there. I'll go in there.
And literally the time it takes him to close the door, Dick Grayson does like 5 different flippy dippy moves.
Yeah, somersaults and down the hall, down the staircase, up the wall, and slides across the room, back
like
up to
hanging
the
on rugs and stuff, and like stuff that would clearly wouldn't be able to hold a man's weight. It would just immediately fall.
Not
off
a man
the wall.
of that age, anyway.
Well, because he's so old, right?
Yeah.
So he slides in, and Alfred is there. He's in the Batcave, and he knows.
What was Alfred doing to go in there?
I'm bringing him a sandwich. I don't know. But so that's like the big thing. And Alfred is
the Batmobile spins all around. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, it is kind of cool.
Like hero shot of the Batmobile. This is a nice looking Batmobile.
Well, as I said in our episode,
you're doing this.
Yeah, I did. No, it's not the one that I keep fucking up. That's next movie. But I did build that one. I finished it, and it was good. But as I said in our last episode, Batman Returns, that I actually preferred this Batmobile design with its Giger-esque design.
Yes, it's
very nice.
Which, if you actually saw when they did hire Giger to do a design for the Batmobile,
drawings, they kind of look like that, yeah.
Well, no, they look like an octopus or something. It was real weird. And they're like, let's just do it ourselves.
So
they may have like ribs.
Yeah.
Ribs kind of thing.
Yeah.
Ribs
for Chase's pleasure.
For Chase's pleasure.
Speaking of, Bruce Wayne and Chase are having another little meeting. Now, we should point out, when they were at the circus, he said, "Hey, I'm going rock climbing." And she says, "Oh, I've met someone." And he's like, "Oh, well." And so, but it's the same guy.
Got here.
Yeah, it's like, wait a second, like, why are you here with me then? So whatever. I mean, Bruce, he's playing it coy because he knows it's him. But so they have a fun little back and forth. That like why? So I guess he's just here doing like I guess he's just here for therapy. I don't know, but they do kiss. Right.
That helps. That helps with the breakthroughs.
Yeah, I mean, I never got to do that with my therapist.
Yeah, stupid virtual appointments.
I like her nice collection of clippings with all the press photos that Valkilmer had to take in the press suit, like repurposed and put on newspapers.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah, right. But she gives him like one of those dream doll things, whatever. Like I guess it's a good thing because his dreams are weird. And he says, "I'm having them while I'm awake and stuff." So
daydream.
But there's a funny, and I think about this is like a scene I think about a lot for some reason. So like he gets a message on his Apple Watch from Alfred.
Yeah,
It's
totally.
Alfred Watch.
It's Alfred Watch, yeah. And he says, "Master Grayson is going traveling." And
I think he calls him Master Dick, which makes me laugh. It sounds like a rapper's name.
Master Dick.
Pass him like a Master Dick.
So he said he took the car, and he says he boosted the Jag. He said, "No, the other car. It's the Bentley."
Yeah, I think he goes through every single
The
car.
BMW,
Right.
the Maybach, the Ferrari,
the other car.
The General Lee.
the Lamborghini. The scale model of the Batman 66 Ed Barris
You're
custom.
getting closer.
So, but yeah, he finally says the other car, and then they cut to Dick. I mean,
Dick.
Cut to Dick, and he's cruising, and he's even like, "Check out my wheels, baby mama," or something like that.
Yeah, he's like, "You want to go for a ride in my love machine?"
Oh, that's what he said. Yeah, my love machine.
He should be playing like Lowrider or something while he's going down the street.
Oh my God, there was an iTunes whatever extra of a Chris O'Donnell special where he drives down in the Batmobile and he hops out.
The divot.
Yeah, he hops out. He's like, it's like a 90. It's like to promote.
It's like
this.
a 90s
it's like
making of.
Yeah, it's like a 20s, 20-minute like sort of thing that they would just throw on TV or whatever. It's like promo thing. But he's like, yeah, and here's this batarang, and he like throws it or the bat grappling hook. And then they cut to the movie. It's like all this ridiculous stuff, but he is driving it. And then he's like, "Oh, I gotta go." And he's like taking a phone call from Batman. He's like, "No, I'm bringing the car back home now."
The other car.
The other car. So he gets out, and they're like, "You're not Batman, you're Batboy." And this is En Vogue, by the way.
Oh, yeah, I didn't know that until I was listening to the commentary. And Don the Dragon Wilson wants to fight him in this part, too.
Yeah, right. Don the Dragon Wilson. He's like, "Oh, I'll show you, Batboy." And
this is cool. I like the way this looks. This is pretty rad. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. It is pretty rad. I mean, it's cool looking. Everybody's wearing neon again.
They kind of get that Day of the Dead thing. Spectre. Cool.
I guess, yeah.
Let's do our Spectre episode.
I love how in these movies, all the goons, the hard goons, they all know, like, karate. You know what I mean? Like, they all do, like, these flippy kicks and stuff. But Dick beats them all up because there's a girl that's getting harassed, and he beats them all up, and then, like, she's like, and he's like, "Run!" And she says, "Doesn't Batman ever kiss the girl?" And he gives her a kiss, and he's like, "I can get into this superhero stuff." I think this is kind of funny. I actually kind of like the scene a lot. It's
that's
Me
how
too.
me and Mrs. Elder met.
One of these fights.
You kissed after saving
One of
her
these neon rape fights.
neon goons.
No,
Karate
actually,
goons.
I was skipping school to go see Ace Ventura, so it does tie into this movie in some way. So
True.
that's when I saw.
Jim Carrey. Yeah.
It's Double Dragon style where they have a barrel of flaming, just fire, a barrel of fire.
Right. You kick the guy into the fire. Yeah. All right. So they are surrounding him, and he's all by himself. And then Batman shows up, and they all just run away. There's like 50 of them, like or something.
Run away!
And then he gets all mad at
fucking
Batman.
Batman.
Yeah, but I mean, he's kicking guys' asses, and then he's like, "Yeah, Batman, it should have been you.
It's your fault."
He's like, "Well, I did yell, Batman." So I mean, I tried.
But I mean, why wasn't he mad before? He knew I don't know. I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
whatever. Who cares?
he's like, well, I'm gonna take the Batmobile out from aka the love machine, out and try to work out
first
some of my aggression.
First
but
I'm gonna
he
get
didn't
my
have enough.
jollies. And then
Yeah.
I hate you,
Then
Dad.
I'll
Bruce.
confront the jerk.
So yeah, he goes back, and then he's like, I want to kill Two-Face. And he's like, well, if you kill him, then it won't end your pain. You'll just want to kill more and everything.
Well, who else would he want to kill after that? Bruce
He'll
Wayne.
have the thirst. He'll have the taste.
He's got a bloodlust.
Yeah. Yeah, but he won't train him or anything, and he just. So there you go.
And once again, Alfred was encouraging him. He's like, "Oh,
right.
Master Wayne, maybe you need some guidance."
That's right. He's in young men bent on revenge. Don't.
Middle-aged men bent on revenge. I'm like, don't make fun of him. He's not that old now. Here I go. I can't stop.
That was a good one. I like that one. So anyway, the next we have this big Riddler party. Well, like not the. I mean, Edward Nygma party. This cracked me up too. Like Jim Carrey is the spitting image of Val Kilmer in this scene. It's the hair, the suit.
Is
The mole.
Is he wearing glass? Yes, he's got the mole. Is he wearing glasses in the scene, Val
He
Kilmer?
puts on the glasses, and then Jim Carrey puts on his. Glasses
because
at the same
apparently those are the same glasses that Michael Keaton wore in Batman Returns.
time. Oh no shit! Oh,
Yeah, listen to our episode.
Go
We talked
back and figure it out.
Oh, there's Bruce Wayne. That's Mrs.
Mercy, oh,
Bob Kane.
Bob
And then
Kane's wife.
Mrs. Bill Finger was like over there, and she's like flipping her off.
Yeah.
She keeps getting edited out of the movie.
So yeah, Bruce Wayne shows up with Chase, and Ed goes, and what a grand pursuit you must be, and he dances with her. He's trying to outdo Bruce Wayne. He's trying to, I can make more money, and they do this goofy like thing, same thing with he did before, like, oh look, you can go fishing or whatever,
What they
like,
should have
my
done
boss.
They should have done that thing where he thinks he's looking at a reflection, so he puts his hand up, and then Jim Carrey puts his hand up, and then he puts his glasses on, and Jim does it the same. You know that.
The mime.
Yeah,
thing
the
or
Marx
whatever.
Brothers.
Yeah. So, anyways, he's a little suspicious. Bruce Wayne is like, I don't know. And he thinks it's turned off, and he goes in, and Drew Barrymore is there, and she puts a little. It's like a little gold, like
She's a little on her horniness or whatever.
She's at the height of her horniness. Yeah, she's like,
As was I think
you
that
can call me whatever you want.
yeah, that's when I definitely went and bought the Playboy that she was in when I was in
She
that.
was in a Playboy. Good on her. There you go.
Yeah,
I
good
didn't
on
know.
her. I didn't know it either.
I think it was before
anyway-
this movie, but I thought because I was in college, but then I was always very interested in her. But I didn't go to the movies to see this. I don't think.
Oh, I forgot she was in it until I started watching.
Yeah,
it.
it's a small. I remember they announced it probably in Wizard or Hero magazine, if you remember that one.
I do remember
Which
that,
was
but
essentially like Wizard 2.0.
Yeah, but we weren't in that one, so I don't really.
No, so
hear that
that's
one.
why they folded before Wizard did. They didn't get the old secret monkey bump.
That's right. So anyway, she turns the thing back on with this little glow, like one of those glow sticks you get at like a circus or a fair or something.
Yeah, I don't understand
Or at
why.
the circus earlier.
I don't understand anything about why he needs to turn it off or the glow sticks, and I don't want to know. I don't understand it, and I don't want to know.
Well, Bruce Wayne doesn't want his mind being read because he doesn't. He's suspicious of. I think the glow stick thing is stupid, but it's just everything. It's just the aesthetic of the movie. I guess. So, but yeah, Bruce Wayne goes in, and it looks like the beginning of the Mystery Science Theater thing, with like the brain. It's like the Mystery Science Theater opening. It's pretty funny. It's
Totally.
goofy brain thing. So does someone want a no prize? You guys want to earn a no prize here?
Oh, yeah. Well, we can do that, I suppose.
I mean, he's so concerned about getting. Why is the Riddler so concerned about getting Bruce Wayne in there? Because he doesn't, unless he already suspects he's Batman. Why is he so?
The reason is he's just a stalker that just can't.
He wants to know
hates Bruce Wayne and loves him all at the same time.
Yeah.
Maybe hoping for a little Bruce Wayne brain runoff too? Maybe, you know?
Maybe.
Yeah, because he gets to absorb his brain powers and then do an impression of him, which he was already.
Yeah, he was really dying to get a Val Kilmer impression out there.
You get the no prize, Clay. Did it.
But this part does
upset.
kind of remind me though of the, you know, like the brainwave scanner kind of thing. That's what I always kind of think of. And I like how in this thing too, like, because the 90s weren't exactly computer graphics, they would have this computer graphics of the brain, right? But then they would have like a regular title person do the titles and then composite it all together. But to make computers looking things, they have just like a lot of audio equipment, a lot of VU meters and stuff. It's like,
right.
to make it look high tech, but it's not really. It's just like stereo equipment.
You know, everything kind of looks like the Ghostbusters meter thing, you know? Like,
Totally. But it's a choice.
anyway,
It's okay.
Whatever, right. Most people don't care about that stuff. So. All right, so Two-Face then shows up to rob everyone. As John pointed out, he asks for their cellular telephones.
Yes.
And the Riddler gets kind of mad, and he's like, we could have planned this or pre-sold the movie rights. Oh, it's like, stop making a joke every single line.
That really gets old.
Oh. So then, this is when Bruce Wayne goes out to the car to get changed. And a couple minutes later, Dick Grayson also goes out to get changed and why was he even at this party? You're not one of Gotham's high society types. Maybe, whatever. Who cares?
You want to go where the action is.
I guess, yeah. So he wants to get in. Batman goes in, he fights some goons. One of them is harassing Chase. And he goes and saves her, and then she kisses him and says, my place, midnight. It's like, well, where do you live? I don't know where you live. Wait, what? Whatever. Doesn't matter. It's hot. So, meanwhile, Two-Face is, this is part of his plan, and he lures him down into this subway that's being, like, constructed in one of those tubes that, like, they throw the junk in or whatever. You know, you've seen them on the sides of buildings or whatever, but I guess they set this up. Batman slides down this tube. They try to burn him because they release this gas, and of course Tommyleejones make a joke about gas, like, I don't know, it's like a fart joke or something. I don't remember. It's terrible, whatever it is. But he uses his cape to protect himself, and Two-Face just shoots everything and buries him in like
cat litter.
Basically looks like cat litter.
Leftover from our Batman Returns episode.
That's right.
Yeah, check it out.
It's true. She
Check out what
did
Clay thought of
fall in that big thing of kitty litter, which I guess was whatever. But anyway, and then we see that he is pulled out by Dick Grayson, just in his just basic Robin outfit, though, right? He's not in the fancy Robin.
Yeah, no, he doesn't get his fancy. He's got his regular walking.
It's a tight
Robin outfit, not his fancy walking.
Not fancy walking. The sidewalks.
He's got the old tights, kind of like Burt Ward with his Flying Graysons hanging out.
Yeah, it's just Flying Grayson. He does have it. Yeah, he's wearing his little panties.
Apparently, there was a joke that Chris O'Donnell paid the costume people to give him a bigger cod piece than Batman.
I didn't notice, but I didn't watch
either.
a video.
I mean, they only shove the crotch shots in your face later on, but
in the second, in one of these, the fourth, second.
So, Dick is all like, "Okay, I'm your partner now. I'm your partner." And Bruce Wayne's like, "No." And then, he's like, "Yeah, put this next to the bat suits." He's like, gives him the
maybe make something a little better than this. Is kind of lame compared to the rest.
Can you give me some pants to wear with this thing?
Yeah, for God's sake. Maybe some fake muscles.
Meanwhile, like, he's also like, so Bruce Wayne is like watching just videos of Chase, like, it's a little
I know,
weird.
is that like YouTube or something? I was thinking that too. It's like, what is this? Is it live or like, is it a drone outside her window?
What
or is he just watching
here?
BatTube?
It is. It's
I think that should be a thing. Patent pending.
And Alfred says, "Go to her." I'm like, "Oh,
Was
he
dying?
will. He will." Well, that's kind of how Alfred's always dying.
But all
Oh,
three,
no, still working.
all three of these Batman movies so far are very horny.
Yeah, it's true.
Mr. Horny.
So he shows up, and there is Nicole Kidman is like, I was at the height of
Wearing
my
a
horniness
sheet.
too. I know, wearing
Wearing a
only a
sheet.
sheet, and I was like, wee. So I was at the height of my horniness too.
Humana, humana, humana,
1995.
humana.
Yeah, exactly. And so he shows up as Batman, and then she's like, she kisses him, and then she's like, you know what? I got another guy. Sorry.
Yeah,
I
but she's
gotta
a
think
player.
another guy. Yeah. And then he's like, oh, but he knows it's him. So he walks away and he smiles. It's like
Yeah.
shitty grin.
I don't have a problem with that. I'm sure some Batman fans are like, Batman doesn't smile.
I know, but it's
Unless
hilarious.
he does that at the end of the Killing Joke or whatever that was.
No, I like that. I liked it. It's the biggest shit-eating grin. It's so obvious, but it's still.
He's like, there's going to be so much goodness happening to me in a couple hours when I call her up as Bruce Wayne.
All right, so we're coming up to the big moments here, but Riddler and Two-Face are there. Two-Face is all mad because Batman got pulled out of the rubble there, but Riddler says, "Riddle me this," and he knows from his brain scan of Bruce Wayne that he is Batman because there were bats flying around in his brain. But it doesn't really tell you anything.
No.
I think this is Schumacher-cut stuff where he did have kind of like that kind of stuff more. The dream sequence which they put in here, I don't know if it was in deleted scenes, but they showed some of it where he's like at his parents' wake and stuff, like, and the big bat, some bat or rubber bat or something he keeps showing. But there was more of that, I guess. I don't know.
I think so. They got into it a little bit, but meanwhile, so they're like, we know who he is. And meanwhile, we go back to Wayne Manor, and Bruce Wayne is quitting. He's like, yep, I'm going to be with Chase.
Well, see, this is where it ties in that he realizes he's Batman forever.
Yeah.
Except all that stuff got cut out.
Right.
It's something I heard too, that he had like amnesia and forgot he was Batman at some point in some version of this.
Wow, that's weird.
Yeah, that's dumb. I'm glad to hear
that's pretty
that.
dumb. I was being kind when I said it was weird. That's pretty stupid, right?
His Batcave looks fucking pretty cool. Them just walking around it.
I like all the
it's
design
pretty big.
stuff in this.
It's pretty big, and it's the biggest one so far. It might be the biggest one in all of them, I guess.
Oh, maybe. I don't remember what the next one looks like.
Yeah. But yeah, it's nice. Meanwhile, Dick is all mad. He's like, "You can't quit. I haven't killed Two-Face yet." He's like, "Well,
good luck with
he doesn't really care. Yeah, he's like, a man's got to go his own. Oh no, he said that. Sorry. But yeah, he's
so
like,
Chase is coming over and stuff. So like, can you go to the movies or something?
Here's $20. Make yourself scarce.
Get out of here. Go play some video games.
Alfred can take you or whatever. You don't have to get an Uber, but or the Gotham cab that Chase is getting. Why don't you get in?
For God's sake.
Yeah, why don't you get in? Chase is going to be here when she gets here. Why don't you get into her cab? They'll bring you right into Gotham, and you can go to the movies.
That's right.
I'll pay for your fare. Just go. For God's sake, man.
Here's 100. Whatever.
Fine. I'll hire a sitter. And
right. 30-year-old Ward. So anyway, he leaves in a huff, actually. He's like, "I'll see you later."
They sound like Redshirt Brian right there.
Yeah.
He's like all angrily taking his stupid Robin costume. I'm taking this.
Yeah.
I'm taking my tights and leaving.
The funny thing is, if he had stuck around a little while, Harvey Dent would have come to him.
Just killed him.
He could just killed him then. But he leaves.
Damn 35-year-olds. And they're
so immature.
Yeah.
So anyway, Bruce Wayne and Chase have sort of a moment, and he wants to tell her he's Batman, and she knocks over some roses, and I guess that...
And as she does that, he says, "I'm Batman." She doesn't hear him.
I know. Well, kind of like... it's kind of... literally, I feel like this is a theme where he wants to tell the woman he's Batman, just like he wanted to do with Kim Basinger. But
Yeah.
anyways, like he has a vision of, you know, whatever, his parents' funeral and running and falling in his hole, and there were bats down there, and that's when he came up with the idea to avenge his parents.
Look, fuck capacitor.
Blah, blah, blah. Well, basically, yes. Fuck capacitor.
It's really funny that Batman is out all night and there's probably gunshots and stuff, and she knocks a small vase that doesn't even really break onto a soft rug, and he gets all freaked out.
Was it the roses? I don't really. Yeah,
I
this
think
is
so.
the problem.
The roses is supposed to be like the pearls.
Kiss from.
Yeah.
Wait, is it kiss from a rose or kiss by a rose?
Kiss from a rose. Yeah.
Kiss from Rose Island from Golden Girls.
So I guess that was that a thing in the comics? Now I don't even remember. Did he fall in a hole and see bats? I don't remember that.
I don't know if it was in the comics.
Why
or
do we
not, but
fall,
it's in
Bruce?
Batman Begins, and it's in Batman v Superman because he gets lifted up by the bats.
Oh, God.
I remember going, boy, this is dumb. I'm glad it was a dream.
No,
So
but
anyways-
we really were there.
Yep, we were there sitting through that.
Yeah, no, it wasn't a dream. Yeah, you
I
actually
wasn't dreaming. I saw that. So then they kiss, and she realizes, wait, I kissed this guy like a few hours ago, I think, or whatever it was. Like, I already kissed this guy. It's Batman. And like, they don't say anything. But meanwhile, it's Halloween, and kids keep ringing the doorbell, and then
The kids that ring the
Stupid.
doorbell at one point ties back in with the client. It's Susan Sarandon and Tim Robbins' kids.
oh, really?
Trick-or-treating.
Oh, that's
Yes.
cool. I didn't. Know
I mean,
that.
until it's the other two dopey old guys.
Right, and then it's
villains.
Jim Carrey and Tommy Lee Jones, and Alfred's just like, okay, I'll open the door and give you candy. Like a moron.
Good commentary knowledge drop, John.
Thank you.
And that was good. Then they knock out Alfred and drag him into a closet, which is kind of funny. But then I guess, you know, they're going to ransack Wayne Manor. And he says, no killing. And he looks at Two-Face and says, that goes double for you, which I thought that was
That's actually a good line. Yes.
actually one of the few good lines that Jim Carrey has in the whole movie. So Riddler goes into the Batcave.
Riddler.
Well, in my notes, I kept just writing Rids. I just
Oh,
call
good
them
old
Rids
Rids.
all the time. So I had to add the Lur. He goes in the Batcave and starts throwing these funny little bombs around. He's completely overacting the whole time. But apparently, like, they thought a stuntman wouldn't be the same. We have to
Oh
have
yeah,
Carrey.
no one could match Jim Carrey's
Those-
build or whatever. So
Those little
they had him
green
really do it.
tights. Yeah, those little green outfit, I guess. I don't know, but and he's like, oh, you know, someone tell the fat lady she's on in 5. And he's just blowing everything up. So Two-Face's goons come, like they come find Chase and Bruce. They're, you know, fighting them off and everything. I guess there's a nice callback to her boxing because she punches one guy out. So that was kind of fun. Meanwhile, Harvey Two-Face is sitting there flipping his coin. And each time it comes up heads, he gets mad. And it finally comes up tails, and he shoots Bruce Wayne, and it grazes his head. Then he goes to shoot him again, and Riddler comes up and says, oh, don't kill him. Which I don't know why, but
But he says if you kill him, you can't learn anything. Is that the scene?
right. That's what he says. If you kill him, he won't learn nothing. But whatever. So,
But then they leave him, right?
yeah, they leave him there, and they take
Well, you're
Chase.
not going to learn anything if you don't take him.
It's just it's typical, like, bad guy stuff. It was a style at the time.
That's right. And
But
it
they
was a different
kidnap-
time.
Yeah, and they leave another riddle, and they take Chase captive. And then they do this kind of cool thing. I mean, I guess, I don't know why, but the bat signal was going off, and then it's just something to show in the trailer, but they do the cool, like, question mark over the bat signal thing, which I thought was actually kind of cool looking.
That is kind
Yeah,
of cool.
it's all right. It's all right. It's all right. I mean, that
It's all
became
right,
sort
it's
of
all right.
like the whole marketing thing was that bat signal in the question mark, which I thought was a cool design.
Yeah.
I like it.
And then they have these two dumb cops ruining the whole, like, moment by going like, "What's that? What's happening?" Like,
Batman!
I know, it's so bad. Like, oh, you had that cool moment and then you ruined it. So anyways, Alfred and Bruce Wayne get all the riddles together, and they just figure out, like, by the numbers in the riddles, not the solutions to the riddles, but just by like, oh, there's a 1 and an 8 and a 3 and whatever, and they figure
That
out
means Tuesday. He's hiding out on this special place.
right. It's so dumb. It makes no sense. But they're like, Mr. E. What's another word for Mr. E or whatever? And then it's like, oh, Mr. E is Enigma, Mr. Enigma. I don't know, it makes no sense. Like,
Although mystery
It's
would
so
have been
dumb.
a better way to go with it.
yeah, it's a stupid thing.
Did
I
they
mean-
think they made up the Edward Nigma for this Riddler, or was he called that like before in the comics?
I thought he was already called that, but
I thought
I
it
could-
was, but I could be wrong. Yeah,
my Batman knowledge of the comics is not great.
yeah. I think it was. Who knows? But yeah, it makes no sense. And couldn't you like the only thing covering his identity is the little
It's
green
a little
thing.
strip of
Yeah,
felt
little-
over his eyes.
You could be like, that guy looks kind of like Edward Nigma. Weird.
He actually looks.
Well, you guys
exactly like-
didn't think it was me when I sent that picture of my friend earlier.
Oh, I thought you sent a picture of the actual Riddler.
I thought that was, yeah. Interesting. So I guess it is hard to tell.
Yeah, absolutely.
So even though all the suits are blown up, he's got one experiment that's always like, oh, you haven't tested it yet. It's like Iron Man. There was always like Iron Man always had an untested suit that he had to use in the comic. So this is when they do the butt shot. Yeah, like the long butt shot. He puts
Yeah,
on the
just lingers on that
yeah, and then like
beautiful
and then
bat butt.
he does a little shake.
Yeah, he does a little shimmy.
Terrible. So he's like, well, which way should I do it, Alfred? By sea or by air? And then Dick comes back and says, how about
Master Dick.
both? Yeah, now he's
Like,
got
I
his
also would
both.
like to point out that when we were talking about the Batmobile that I built recently, I also built the Bat boat from this movie recently.
Oh, nice.
Very well.
Another toy.
Now
Yeah,
this is a
so really,
different.
it worked. I mean, it only took almost 30 years for it to work, but it worked.
This
Yeah,
is
right.
a different bat suit than before, isn't it?
Yes.
Or,
Yeah.
and then,
Yeah.
but also, okay. What can we comment on Robin's costume? Do we like it? We not like it?
I do like it.
It's fine. Yeah, I like it.
His
Except
domino
the big
mask is
dick.
pretty terrible.
Well, isn't
The
that
mask
what Robin
is
wore,
very
though?
big, but it's like
Yeah,
takes
I
up like
often
his
wondered,
whole face.
how do you keep that on your face? That's like a lot of
Yeah.
like rubber cement or something you're using to keep it on.
Yeah,
It's like women have to tape their nipples sometimes to like a dress. You have to just tape it.
Well, that's what they were going to do to the bat suits too, tape the nipples.
Oh, this place has
They didn't have time.
that my house has. We have all sorts of stuff because Stacy's burlesque. There's all sorts of nipple covers and tapes and nipple coverings.
Well, what is Stacy?
We have
use?
them
I
all
know
the-
that's all for you, right?
yeah.
Yeah, I'm just saying we
she
have it
just
in
goes
the
for
house.
double
in the
She
sided
takes her
tapes,
clothes. She
whatever.
takes her clothes off. I put those nipple covers on, but I put them in like different spots. Put them on my arms and my legs and stuff.
Actually, you just put
And
them on
you're
your
flying
eyes.
Graysons. Put them on your eyes. Anyway, so they decide, let's go get him. And like all of a sudden, he's okay with it. He's like 2 against 1 are better odds. And he's like,
Well,
well,
he says I can't promise you that I won't kill Two-Face. I was like,
yeah, and he's like,
I think
well,
that's what that was part of my wedding vows.
since you met your wife
Yeah,
the same way. that
exactly.
he
So,
met-
yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but I love it. He's kind of on board with it. He's like, well, man's got to go his own way. You know, if you got to kill him, you got to kill him. So
Yep.
They're all on the same page. So meanwhile, they're doing the bat signal with the question mark, and Commissioner Gordon's like, well, I guess he's not coming. I suppose I have to do
But
some
here's the
work
Riddler.
now."
He's coming here now because we put the Riddler sign
Yeah.
up.
He seems like very disappointed. He's like, I guess I have to do work.
Wait, what did Clay call it in the last episode that totally didn't get messed up and is
I don't know.
out there to listen to right now? Where what'd you call it, like the bat beam or the bat light or
Oh,
something?
Yeah, the bat light.
that was what I was. That was what I was quote unquote cringing at the last time, which was the special effects guy kept saying. And then we had the bat beacon, and then Keaton stands up, and the bat beacon looks really good, and it's actually a miniature, and then we had to double shoot it because of this, and blah blah blah. But the beacon was,
yeah.
and it's not a fucking beacon; it's a bat signal.
The
you idiot.
beacon. I got the beacon.
Not the beacon.
Well, then he like flies the bat wing.
That's my
through the
favorite
thing.
part. He's like, yeah, go.
He's like,
go!"
hey!
And And then he's like,
God.
then he's out of breath and he has a heart attack. He's like, well, I can't get so excited.
He's like, oh, Christ. Now my cops, they don't have to do anything now. My dumb cops.
Yeah.
So anyway, like, then we have this dumb scene where they're flying at, I guess, Edward Nygma's base.
It's, what was the thing
island.
called in Jaws 2? Something Junction?
Cable Junction.
Cable Junction. That's what I think of it as.
Yeah, it's just out in the middle of the water, whatever. And Riddler and Two-Face play Battleship with the whatever. It's so dumb. I wish.
I like seeing the Bat boat and the Bat wing in action, but yeah, that's dumb.
They basically blow up the Bat boat, and they shoot like some kind of laser at the Bat wing, and whatever, and crashes. There are frogmen down there, and
they have riddles.
Not actual.
They have like question marks on their scuba gear, which is kind of fun. Okay, I like it.
Did Jim
It's
Carrey
kind of
have
fun.
like a neon like jacket on at this part? I was working as the movie was playing, so I was not able to watch it as much as as I should.
Yeah, this is the part where and Chase says Batman will come, and he's wearing the light up neon jacket.
And then he's like, Batman.
I'm counting on it. Yeah. So, anyways, and then we have the holy rusted metal joke, which is,
which should not have been in there, because not only is it a dumb joke, not only is it a cringy joke, it's also Batman's reaction to. He's like, holy rusted metal, Batman. He's like, and he's like, that's rust. It's full of holes, and he's like,
He's like, oh,
grunty Batman.
So stupid. Yeah, and then like the island just starts to rise for no reason. They climb up. Dick and Two-Face fight, and he does the classic like not even superhero, but hero from every movie like in the 80s. This is for man, and this is for my father, and this is for my brother, and this is for me. Like, stop, please stop.
Yes.
But then so Two-Face is hanging, and Robin decides to save him and pull him up instead of letting him die. So he's been.
Which that's a mistake.
Well, yeah, that's true. That was kind of dumb, but because then Two-Face pulls out a gun and just says, "Well, yeah, all right, noble but stupid." And it's true. That's right.
Yeah, you got it. You nailed it.
Yep. Anyways, Batman goes up into Riddler's throne room. He climbed up the whole thing. Riddler's hair has grown a lot in the last 5 minutes.
He's got En Vogue's stylist off to the side helping him out.
And I guess they gave him some extensions because it was like a flat
They gave him an updo wig.
Yeah, 2 minutes ago, and now it's like woo. So it looks like Wolverine.
Well, he's wearing a different outfit too. He's wearing white.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
He took off his jogging jacket. So
his special Adidas Riddler jogging jacket.
Well, that's what he said. He said it keeps him safe when he's jogging at night.
Yeah, I forgot that line. So it works out.
I didn't make that up. I can't think of it. All right, so he's got Chase in one tube and Dick in the other, and he's going to send him down. And he's got Dick in one hand. And they're going to send him down to a watery grave. A watery grave.
Which, I don't know, he survived driving a boat in the water. I think he's okay. I mean, he's got his mouth taped shut or whatever, but...
Yeah.
But
he's got
Mr.
the
Sunday
tape on
Movies.
his mask, too. So.
Yeah. Mr. Sunday Movies talked about this part, and they're like, oh, now you're going to make a choice. Save her, or save him, or save both.
I know. Never. It seems like he would have plenty of time. But he's like, I have a riddle for you. Which I don't even remember what the riddle was.
It's like, what can...
it's a bat, right? Like the answer is like a bat. So he turns
it's
on...
what I based myself off of. There's your riddle.
What do I base myself on? Because it's his experimental suit, he turns on a night vision and he throws a batarang up at this giant thing, like this giant green thing. Did he need the night vision for that? It seemed like it was dark.
It seems like it was pretty. It wasn't that dark. It's really green in there.
Everything is glowing green.
Maybe it was so glowy that he put the night vision on it's not actually night vision.
Maybe.
It's a way to tone down the green, filter it out so it gets a better throw. Although
Oh,
He did just program him in the last movie, so I don't know.
right. Go back and listen.
Yeah, go listen to that
Uh,
episode.
So yeah, like I mean, maybe he needed the night vision thing to see that was the thing he had to. That's the thing that you
Yes,
need.
there's your
or
no
whatever.
prize.
Right. Okay. I got a no prize.
Hey.
So like when he breaks that thing, it causes the Riddler to get all like weird because I guess all the people's brains, whatever.
Was
It
it like the other
No,
part I
It
didn't
looks
like where
really
he's like
gross.
when he did that thing.
Yeah.
I'm like,
He's like, no, and then he says, "Was that over the top? I can never tell." It's like,
yes,
yes,
but
yes, it
everything
was.
you've done in this
Meta.
movie
Every
over the top.
line.
Very
Yeah.
meta.
You didn't even.
Cringe.
You did like you're just a bad judge then, Jim.
You can't tell. Anyway, so while Riddler's getting all weird, he presses the button, releases both the two.
Yeah, and then you get
Batman,
an
of
upskirt
course.
shot of
Yeah,
Nicole
right.
Kidman
Okay.
and Robin, for that matter.
He changed though. Now he's wearing
Yeah.
pants. So Batman, of course, uses his bat ropes and whatever, and his batarangs, and he saves them both, just like Mr. Sunday Movie said he would.
Yeah.
And he did. And yay, they're there, and they're standing. And then Two-Face shows up, and he's about to shoot them.
Then he uses
And,
his Bat Two-Face coins.
So, this is though another scene though. This is literally it's only like a couple times in the whole movie, but he also says, "Yes, Bruce, you're right." And like so, it's kind of like the good half of Harvey.
Yes.
And he
Of Harvey
goes because he says, "Don't forget your coin," or what don't you want to put the coin inside it, whatever. And he's like, "You're right, Bruce." And so he flips, and then one of the dumbest. It's like a total Adam West move. I feel like he throws more coins up. It's like, this is how I'm gonna beat Harvey. I'll give you money. I don't know. Like
That's always Bruce Wayne's answer. Throw money at the
just
problem.
throw money at everything. Sure. Oh, the orphanage. Give them money. Can't give them their parents back.
Yeah, but he literally throws money at the problem in this case.
Yeah, literally. You're right. Harvey slips on the thing trying to catch all the coins, I guess, and then he falls to his death. And
Well, he secretly planted a banana peel behind him too. That's why he slipped.
I guess that's justice, though, right? He was always concerned about justice, and since the Graysons fell, the fallen Graysons fell.
Well, your Graysons haven't dropped.
Oh yeah. And meanwhile, they go and see the Riddler, and he's all fucked up, and it's like, and they put him in Arkham, which is I think our first glimpse of Arkham
in the
Asylum.
deleted scenes, there was a whole thing about Harvey Two-Face escaping.
Oh,
Arkham. Yeah.
Oh, very well.
Very well. Well, they put the Riddler in there, and Chase goes to see him because
And
he says,
Odo is there. Renee Albajan.
"Oh, really? I
Oh,
didn't
the guy
think
from
that."
Benson.
The guy from Benson. I don't know how to say his
Guy
last
from
name.
Yeah, I can't pronounce
Odo.
Like from
With
Beetlejuice? That guy?
No, the guy from
Odo
Deep
from
Space
Deep
Nine.
Space Nine.
Oh, I don't.
But he was also the guy with the mustache on Benson.
Yeah, he was like the.
He was also on Boston Legal. And if we ever do the 76 King Kong, he's in that a lot too.
Oh, we should do that. That's cool.
Yeah, baby, yeah.
So, like the doctor, says he knows the identity of Batman. So Chase goes in and he says, "I'm Batman." So
But he was
comes
just
out.
quoting the first movie.
He was watching it
kind
in
of
there.
Yeah.
And
On
he made
Batman.
he made himself like a bat wings.
Yeah, no, he's in like the classic prisoner like striped outfit, and he says, "I'm Batman." So she comes out, sees Bruce, and she says, "He's a wacko," which is a callback to the very first scene. And then he gives her back her little doll, her little dream doll thing. It's like, well, that's kind of mean. I mean, she gave you that as a gift, right? Like, you can have this back. But
I won't
it's
be
almost
dreaming
like-
anymore.
Batman Forever.
Yeah. I don't need it anymore.
I'm done with dreaming.
And then, like, it's almost like, I don't know, I was reminded of the Naked Gun. And he says, "By the way, you can take this back." She's like, "Whose is that?" Doesn't matter. Like, it's like a little,
I almost put that on the other day. I gotta watch those again. It's so good.
classic.
Love an OJ movie.
I know. Good
Oh
old
yeah, who
Ocean.
doesn't, right?
You know.
But it's nice. Then so her, they share a nice kiss, and she says, "Don't work too late," which that's kind of a fun. I like
Yeah.
that line. It's a good
Yeah.
line. And they have like the two of them running over like the logo or the bat symbol.
Chase and
The
Batman
bat beat.
running.
No, I mean,
Batman and Robin.
yeah, Batman and
The
Robin.
dynamic
Ha,
duo.
ha, ha.
Tune in
And then
next time for a new Batman. Same Robin.
Bat
What's this? Batman
Old
and
man
Robin running towards the screen?
Poison Ivy. And not Chase Meridien. Bye.
No, Chase. But we have.
That's what they
And we
said.
have one of my favorite YouTube songs, as we were saying earlier. A little Clay sort of
Clay poo-pooed it.
Poo-pooed.
It's not his favorite.
Certain bands. They're not my
Not his
favorite.
favorite.
they're among them. They're a very popular band. People can't like
Yeah.
the same things.
Yeah, it's fine. I thought the Flaming Lips song and this was actually Rod Stewart singing.
I thought it was. I definitely do not like the Flaming Lips either. It's a little bit too arty, even for me.
I almost saw the Flaming Lips in the aforementioned San Francisco trip, but we arrived too late. They were all done. So, no big loss. Who cares?
You could have just so you said you could just so you could
Just so I could say I could do it. I did it.
I don't remember much else from the soundtrack except
Seal.
except Seal and U2.
Yeah, I don't know it.
I think it was popular.
It was at the time. That was like the thing.
Right.
Was to release an
90s
album
was
full of
yeah.
songs inspired by or in the movie itself.
Right. In this case, they were in.
Seal
From
was just
the
on
art.
tour. He was just on tour, playing that song and like this record.
Well, that's all he
he's
does,
still
right?
out
And
there.
he's married to like Heidi Klum, or was,
Yeah.
I don't
Right,
know.
Heidi Klum. I don't know. There are some Brandy, Seal, PJ Harvey.
Ooh, what PJ Harvey song is it?
Oops, sorry, I clicked the link. One Time Too Many, it's called.
I love
don't know
PJ
it.
Harvey.
Don't know it.
I also liked PJ Harvey in much the same way I liked Nicole Kidman, if you know what I mean.
Oh,
back then.
If
Still,
you know what I
still
mean.
to this day. The height of my
Nick-
horniness.
I feel like there should be a Breeders song on this album too.
I know
What's
there should
another
be.
real '90s band that could be
There
on
are?
there?
Oh, Offspring.
Either.
Oh yeah, awesome.
Boy, bad. I don't know. For some reason, if you listen to anything from the 90s, like I do sometimes, Spotify thinks you must like the Offspring. It's like, no, I don't.
No,
I can't
just
stand the
make me an Offspring free playlist for God's sake.
No. But yeah, Flaming Lips.
Well, I heard
Sunny
the
Day
Damned.
Ritz?
Oh yeah. What was that? Candlebox. They should be on there.
Oh God,
Stacy loves that band, by the way.
really?
But Smash It Up, I thought
They're
it was
not my
the.
favorite.
I thought it was the Damned. That's one of my favorite Damned songs.
It's
I
a
thought it was them.
cover. It's a
it's a cover.
A cover of the damn.
Did you
Oh
just
my
say something
God.
About, wait, we talking about Smash Mouth? Did you just say something? Sorry.
No, Lenny Kravitz.
Smash
Oh, that
It
guy
Up.
just died.
Smash It
I
Up
know.
is the name. Yeah,
Smash It Up.
Okay,
Smash It Up.
Speaking, Michael Hutchins was on the soundtrack and he died. I thought he had died already. When did he die? I guess he died.
He died.
later in the 90s.
Shit, I don't know. Yeah.
Interesting.
All right. Well, that's the.
What did
movie.
we think of Batman Forever? Who wants to go first? Anyone?
Whenever I go first,
All right,
or second,
well,
or third, I never have anything to say. So I don't care. Clay, you go first.
All right. I have many different thoughts about this movie. On the one hand, I like a poppy thing, like I like a campy thing. I was just having even a new appreciation about it, like watching along on my other computer, like while we were talking about it, and I'm like, oh, that actually doesn't look as dumb as I thought it did. Like I think watching it for the podcast made me give it maybe a higher grade than I would have, just from memory. But this was a time when I was like, oh, if it's not Michael Keaton, I don't care. I don't really care about this. It seems like it's all marketing. It's not dark and brooding. I don't know if I'm into that. And I never really was. And I saw the movies like way after they like I don't think I went to the movies to see these, but I was like focused on partying a lot at the time, so like I didn't even really care, which is surprising because I love Batman. But Val Kilmer's a good Batman. I'm gonna give it like a 50-50 production design. Like half of it I really like and half of it I really hate. So I think it's a good movie. It's fun. It's pulpy, and I do enjoy that part of it. And I can see why fans that were more like a darker Batman like would not like it at all. But this movie is pretty good. I think I probably would have, before watching it for this, I would have given it like a C, but I'm gonna give it a flat B. Give it a flat B.
There you go.
Yeah, nice.
I'll go next.
All right.
So it'll be quick. Don't worry.
Because you never have anything to say.
Yeah, I never have anything to say in my wrap up because I said it all already. I like the energy, I like the design, and I hate the acting, with the exception of the Batman crew. Like, I think Kilmer's good. He's actually my favorite Batman. I think he looks the best in the suit. Chris O'Donnell, I mean, prior to his retirement, he was just, I think he's fine, and I think Alfred is. Everybody else is just too much. They're just too much. They're just a little too over the top.
Well, what about Nicole Kidman?
She's somewhere in between.
She's on the Bat crew. Is she part of the Bat family, as we would say in current parlance?
She's somewhere in the middle between the bad guys and the Bat crew. Because she's okay in some scenes and just a little too like in others, Yeah. I also think Schumacher has got some really good shots in this movie. But there are certainly missteps. I had thoughts while Clay was talking, and now I've forgotten them all because I should just write this shit down, and I never do. So I'm going to give it a B-, which is actually the highest grade I've given to a Batman movie, and I don't think they ever got a really great Batman movie in this initial 4-movie run.
Sure.
I don't think they nailed it until Nolan came along. That's it. That's what I got to say about that.
Yeah, I understand. I have a funny thing, funny thoughts about this movie. I started when I first started watching. I'm like, oh no, this movie. I forgot how goofy this movie was. And then I was kind of watching it the same way like when we watched like Moonraker or something, right? Where you start to just kind of
just go with it. You're like,
all right, go with it, right? Like it's pretty stupid at parts. They do some stupid things, and you're just like, this makes no sense. Who cares? I get it. They're selling toys. It's not a big deal. It's best not to get offended. If you're like someone is a fan, like you're saying, Clay, about like, oh, I like Batman.
I feel like this movie is like a step between the Burton movies and the '66 Batman. It's not either, but it's both at the same time.
Yeah,
it's weird to think of it like, because a lot of people do associate Batman with the '66, and so does Schumacher, obviously. But this is like not that. It's just not exactly that, but it's close, I guess.
But it can, Batman has many. We all wear many masks. You know what I mean? But like,
ogres have layers.
There are periods of Batman lore where he is goofy. There are periods
like James Bond or Godzilla.
Right.
Kind of just goes through phases of goofy, then serious, and then lighten it,
And sometimes it's sort of combination of both, where it's like Pierce Brosnan, or sometimes it's kind of goofy, sometimes it's serious. One thing
Pierce Brosnan was also offered the role of Batman. I don't know if we talked about that. And then he made some joke about wearing his underwear on the outside, and Tim Burton was like, "Yeah, I'm not giving it to you now." And he's like, "I was just making a joke."
The blue and gray suit, he wears the underwear on the outside. Oh well.
He's like,
there was a funny thing I saw while I was doing a little research. And Gene Siskel, right, when he saw Gene Siskel's review of this movie I liked it while I was watching it.
Oh yeah,
it was over.
I forgot
it was
all
over.
about it.
I didn't mean anything. And I kind of feel like that was how I probably viewed it in 1995 too.
Empty calories.
Yeah, I liked it though. Back then, I thought it was fun. I was, I was in college.
I remember because we saw it together.
Yeah.
during the day, back when you could go see a movie during the day on opening day and there were only 3 other people in the theater. I remember walking out going, I don't know how I feel about this movie. I like some parts and I hate some parts. And it wasn't until it came out on video when we worked at the aforementioned video store, and I put it on the day it came out, and I was like, yeah, this is all right. But do you remember we used to run our sting operation about the rival local video store that kept putting their movies out early, and someone came and returned Batman Forever to us like several days before the movie was officially released. So they were putting these movies out early to make a few extra bucks.
Yeah, which is not only like that's illegal. It wasn't even like, immoral. It was immoral, but it was also like, that's not cool. So
so we called the owner. We called the owner, and he was sort of like, what are you gonna do? We were like, all right. Operation Batman Forever Sting Operation was a dud.
Yeah, he just returned the movie to them, or we called people. Hey, this isn't our movie.
Yeah,
but I was like, we're gonna put them out of business. Yeah, right.
You're like, but Bruce is like telling you don't have to kill. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Bruce Wayne was advising us to not take revenge on Stone's video. Because then what are we going to do? We're going to want to have revenge on every video store. And eventually video stores won't exist anymore, and we'll just be empty.
I guess our revenge plan worked. They all went out of business.
We took the long long view of the whole thing.
We'll be talking to each other on our watches all the time.
Yeah, how stupid.
The other watch.
I mean, like I said, like there are moments. I'm pretty sure this is exactly like when I was watching some of these goofier Roger Moore Bond movies, and I'm like, boy, that's dumb. And you're probably like, you know what I mean? I'm like,
it is dumb.
Probably how
I'm
John.
all right. I'm right.
Yeah, this is how John felt watching these Bond movies, and this is how I felt about that movie. That's
good. I'm glad you went with
it. Yeah, I can't really hate it. It's so bad, and obviously Jim Carrey is terrible. Like,
Jim Carrey's terrible,
but
too
much.
At least he's entertaining. Tommy Lee Jones is just flat out bad. Like he's not even fun to watch.
Well, yeah, they've never really even the Aaron Eckhart Two-Face it's okay, but I really they've never gotten him like down, because
animated series is a pretty good Two-Face.
Yes, you're right, but they can never really get into the idea of the duality or whatever, I guess. Which, not to say that Billy D. Williams would have either, but
hey, I'm Billy D. Williams. I'm gonna just Billy D. Williams with a half a face. But then Billy D. Williams eventually got to play him in a Lego movie, right?
Yes, he did.
So it all worked out.
But yeah,
can I tell you the funniest Billy D. Williams story I have, other than the one where I thought you looked familiar. But he's doing a commentary for some Star Wars thing, and he's talking about how much he hates Jar Jar Binks while that guy that plays Jar Jar Binks is there with him. and what's that guy's name that played Jar Jar Binks? I can't think of it.
Ahmed Best.
Yeah, and he's just like awkward.
They're like the only like 2 people of color in that room, probably, too. And it's like he's talking shit about that guy. He's like, oh man.
Oh, poor Ahmed Best. He got his comeuppance. The opposite of comeuppance. Yeah. He got his revenge.
Down-uppance.
He got to be
his down-tuppence.
Oh man, Billy D. I mean, people were kind of legitimately like, "Oh, give him a chance." It's like, I mean, he was also I guess how old was Tommy Lee Jones at the time? But
he was like 15 when he shot this movie. It's just people ate. He hit City Miles.
Yeah, City Miles.
Benjamin Button.
It's hard to think.
On the
Chris
cast.
O'Donnell was could have been his dad. And
Chris O'Donnell had a good 15, 20 years on him.
Yeah.
I guess they made one of those.
And then Rene Russo could have been Chase Meridien after all.
Yeah.
They made one of those Batman '89 comics where they drew Billy D. Williams as Two-Face.
Yeah, they did. He basically played him in the comic instead of him. But yeah. Anyway, so I have some, there are good parts and bad parts, but overall, I can't hate the movie. You guys gave it B's, B-. I guess I agree with that. I can't give it any higher, probably. But
so somewhere between a B and a B-.
I'll give it a B. I'll give it a flat B.
Flat B.
enjoyed. I can't say I didn't enjoy it, even though there's so much.
Ironic B. Ironic.
No, it's a regular beat, but it's part of it is probably because I really did like. I kind of liked it in 1995 when I saw it. So.
Oh, good.
I'm glad it didn't get worse for you.
I guess it didn't. It's
like
it's
when
exactly
I
the same.
suggested doing these, I was like, oh, when I get to Batman Forever, I think I'm gonna hate it more than I initially did. But no, it's about the same where it was for me the whole time.
The next one's gonna be tough.
Yeah, you're gonna
that was
really
hard
have
to
to
even-
put on your Roger Moore glasses for that one.
I guess so. Oh, yeah, it's gonna be rough, but we'll get there.
Yeah, that one. I can already give you my grade for that one if you guys want.
That one's even hard to watch, like as a bad movie. We tried it, right? Like,
Well, that was the one that's the whole
Sorry,
like we're
sorry,
trying to
I know.
enjoy the film.
I know I don't want to tell that story yet because it's for the next episode. But I think like one Halloween, or like we were gonna do a bad movie night, and we were like, oh, let's watch Batman and Robin, and I had a hard time even making it through. It's
the Jaws 3 of
it's
Batman movies.
yeah, it's like everything we hate about this movie, but multiplied by.
Oh yeah, it's like on
10.
fucking steroids. It's got roid weird Batman.
It got roid weird.
Roid
has
weird
a-
Batman.
It has a Roger Corman energy to it.
Yeah.
But
The high
this
budget,
one,
though.
it's probably better than you remember. They're probably Batman fans.
Yeah,
that
I
are-
think Forever gets a bad rap because it gets lumped in with the bad Clooney Batman.
right.
The only thing I remember
that's for another.
the only thing I remember at the time was the McDonald's stuff, and I think that could have pretty much turned me off from it. And I was like, "What is fucking this shit?" But I remember that somebody in my house,
The other movies too.
Yeah.
somebody had like, is it like a Riddler glass with like a question mark handle? Is that the thing you have?
Probably.
I think they had
Mine's-
like different
mine's-
ones.
Mine's
Yeah.
actually Batman, but
Mm.
yeah, they released it for different figures.
I think I had the toothpaste. I think I might have had the toothpaste.
Oh man, next time you come over,
Harvey
we'll,
toothpaste?
We'll put them on.
we'll just
bring our
we'll
mugs.
drink hot toddies out of them.
We'll drink boiling acid.
Oh,
I
yeah,
got a
that's
new
what we'll
BB
do.
gun. We'll set them up on the porch, and then we'll like go like 50 yards away and try to shoot them.
The fact that this glass has lasted
Almost
28
30
years,
Yeah.
I say is a testament to McDonald's quality.
That's
That's
right.
right.
That's
I mean,
right,
their
John.
food sits in your stomach for at least that long.
Yeah, yeah. It's-
Or it immediately leaves.
That's true. It depends.
one or the other. There's no in between.
All right. I think we gotta hang it up. I gotta eat. There's gotta eat.
There's
Oh,
gotta
that's right. It's
eat.
9:00.
Thanks for listening, everybody. We will talk to you soon. Don't forget, listen to us wherever you get your
Yeah,
podcast.
same bad time, same bad channel.
Same bad time, same bad channel. I will try to get this out. If I do a good job, I can get Saturday as Batman Day. So if I
Batman
I
Day.
do it right, and I can release this on Saturday. Happy Batman Day, everybody.
Yeah.
Happy
Happy
Batman
Batman.
Day.